right. 17 Live. What's going on? Original Next Level Gaming. My man Stinger. He says another Sunday, another award-winning Iron Lords podcast coming with a great guest. Yes, Giuseppe has arrived, y'all. He is here with me in a live. Giuseppe, you can say hello to the people so they can hear you real quick.
Hello, everyone.
There he is. See, the legend. Very smooth. Very smooth. So, yeah, man, we just waiting for Addict. All right, cool. Thank you, Iron Mike. Waiting for Addict. King will arrive soon. I'm going to mute when King, because he always comes in with music, and we're not trying to get copyright strike. So, we will not do that. Solve is always smooth, late. Yeah, Cat Daddy, man, I see that boss in the prophecy is real nice. Yeah, and Destiny. That's a great dungeon. All right, y'all. We will see y'all in a bit. Just want to do a little quick mic check, and then we'll get the group in. Addict, we're always waiting for Addict. Sinister, yeah, Addict. Now, Addict, what's up, man? He wasn't sleeping. What's going on? What's going on? All right, fellas. See you in a bit. All right, and we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords Podcast and the lordsofgaming.net, episode number 166. And it's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, and we've got GearsTactics and SplashDamage. Sony invested in EpicGames, and Xbox interested in WBGames to discuss, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who is not only one of the top coders in the games industry, but his extensive programming background has one of the most impressive and diverse resumes to prove it. Introducing the principal gameplay programmer at SplashDamage and developer of the iconic GearsTactics franchise, a fellow passionate lord of retro gaming, and the most fluent speaking Italian on Twitter. Live from the UK by way of Italy and making his debut into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord Giuseppe Navarria. How you doing, sir?
Wow, that was amazing.
I like that pronunciation.
I had to learn from you, Saul.
Yeah, that pronunciation would never come out of my mouth anywhere. It wouldn't. It would sound. It would butcher the name so bad. I would have to just literally just go. I'd have to vanish off the internet. Like I can barely pronounce most English stuff. There's no way I'm going into another English. No.
Lord Giuseppe, man, you are a lord.
It was spot on.
I was good. I tried. I practiced.
Oh, nice.
Nice, man. So, first of all, you are Lord of your realm, the Lord of coding and programming, man. First of all, how you been doing, man? How you been holding up with everything?
Oh, it's I'm doing great actually.
Nice.
Yeah, there is a lot going on, and I'm super happy to be here.
Nice. Good to have you. Good to have you. Now, real quick, what have you been playing? Have you got a chance to play any games lately?
Oh, well, right now I'm actually replaying Persona 5.
Ooh,
Yeah, so yeah,
nice.
and then I'm in a sort of retro gaming.
Okay,
streak.
what we doing?
So, at the moment I'm flip-flopping between Edom. It's roguelikes.
Yes.
So Tom and Edom are my go-to roguelikes.
Ooh, okay.
And then some older stuff. So recently I'm fixing an MSX computer
Okay.
I have here, so I've been playing MSX games as well.
MSX games. Okay. I saw the Sega stuff today. The little pendant and giant. You had like a retro Italian commercial for Sega. That was awesome today. I was feeling it.
Yeah, that was part of my childhood.
Woo!
Yeah,
Awesome.
I grew up with the PC. But let's say that Sega and the Mega Drive, that's how
Yes.
it's called here, had a big impact on me. Even if I played it only either with some friends house or in a weird way it was it was also what got me strangely enough into programming as well. There is a link between
Oh, so we got some Sega connection with your career. Oh, we gonna get into
no
this.
I mean it's just how it all started. It's so obviously it's so yeah, I started programming when I was a teenager. So So I was, I think, 12 or something, and I was dabbling with different, game making software and stuff like that. But the breakthrough moment was when I got my hands on a 56K modem.
Ooh,
so
let's go. Let's talk that
was the
modem talk.
internet. And with the internet comes piracy, right?
Yes,
So-
Talk to him, Saul. Talk to him.
I have no idea what
Talk
that
to him,
is.
Saul.
I've never heard that word before. What does that mean?
I'll let you hold that thought, Giuseppe, because I know we're gonna dive deep into the intro. I got to get the Lords in, and we're gonna go right back to you because we got a lot to talk. And you're about to get into your bag, and I love it. So you already know. We've got the 4 horsemen of gaming, those original lords of the realm here at the round table. My co-host, the co-most with the empty chair that is not there. The most difficult conqueror who is not there. Lord of reviews and how of the young wolf who is still not there and muted. Lord Attic, we'll get him on the comeback. He left right when I'm doing his intro. Awesome. Salute the Attic. And of course, we still have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single-player selfish experience, and also the SplashDamage, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati and Lord Patron of the Iron Bank, my man, Lord Sovereign. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, y'all. I'm doing good. What's up? It's perfect for Attic because he'll just come back just in time to interrupt.
To interrupt you, yes.
There it is.
Look.
Where is he?
He said, hold on, soft talking. Let me interrupt. No doubt. So would you like to defer your
No. I'll let him go first because I need to get into a little bit of a talk. So,
okay. Attic, I did your intro without you present. But now that you are back,
sorry about that. Like Facebook has like this glitch now where if your Facebook's up and someone calls you, I denied it on my phone. But in my living room, my laptop had my Facebook up, and it just kept ringing over and over again. And after about 3 minutes of that, I was like, I'm done. I'm going in there and I'm shutting it off.
When we said that Attic was putting up the tattoo video on King's OnlyFans.
Savage.
Look, man,
you see my face, right?
Look, I can either confirm or deny that we have an OnlyFans for IOP. No, I'm joking.
Man. Shout out to Lord Tazawichi, $5 super chat. So, King, combat talk with some MMA, possibly, since corrupted Cog is neglecting MMA. Wow, we'll get to that.
Yo, Tazawichi, I understand. I saw the tweet yesterday that you put out, and I'll explain why I am not qualified today to even talk about that.
He was on some other things.
Yeah, but our sovereign Sastradam. I think I took Sastra's name. He's no longer Sastradam.
Oh, wow.
Why? What did you predict?
I predicted a lot of things, and I'll get into that on my intro, bro.
We get to that. So, Attic, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. It's I feel very well rested. I don't know how that happened. Well, I definitely didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Maybe I'm just running on pure adrenaline.
I don't know. Giuseppe's here. That's why. Adrenaline.
And that's what it is, man. The creator of one of my favorite games this year, one of the creators this year, and that alone is keeping me awake.
Right. That's right. You heard that Game Awards. If we don't get that strategy award, it's gonna be problems. I'm sending the whole Italy over there.
I riot.
We're gonna riot, baby. but
definitely that. And I keep in mind, we will just so people know at the beginning, I've gotten countless messages asking, are we reacting to the Xbox show? The answer to that is yes.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, yes.
A resounding yes. No doubt.
The question is Solve going to be there?
Oh, of course.
Lord Sovereign will be coming down with something that day.
You gotta get that.
I am completely sick. I lost my foot in a dryer.
There you go.
So that's the answer to that, because I had like 8 people ask me. I'm like, we've been reacting to everything. Why would we miss that?
Well, actually, we're not reacting to the Ubisoft forward.
Yeah, we're not. Technically, we're not. We didn't react to EA. We didn't react to Ubisoft. We don't react to everything.
To EA or
Look,
Ubisoft.
Man, they mad at us.
Well, Ubisoft is at 3 today.
They mad at us that we didn't react to the Avengers. I was like,
look, man. After seeing the EA thing, I think everyone in the chat could have used. I mean, we made made that boring tech thing they did on Sony look lit. I think we could have. EA needs to hire us.
I think that day we would have struck out.
Yeah,
I don't know. No,
King.
King, if we could make that lit, we make anything lit.
Well, Mark Cerny did ask for people's ears, so that alone made it lit.
Anyway, so that has been it, sir. Because I need to get it solved.
Yeah. That's
Pause.
No, pause. Correct. Pause.
So let me get into solve.
Relax yourself. So what's going on, man?
Chilling, man. I finally finished it on Wednesday. Day after.
Man. I'm doing a spoiler cast on Monday on Dolph Castle X channel. So we can really break down the psychology of each character, like I thought we was going to do, and get into all the
y'all needed me. Y'all needed me. You know.
Yes. Listen, you're available Monday at 9 p.m. I'll be in there, so I'll send you a link.
I'll see if I can get here.
But got Last of Us 2 completed.
It's done. I will say this: I started to listen to your guys' spoiler cast a little bit, and I didn't finish it yet. But I'll say this: I think everything that they set out to do, for the most part, landed. For the most part, I think this is a game that only Naughty Dog can make. I think this is a game that only they are willing to make, right? Because of the narrative twists and turns and the way they decided to tell this story. Now, for me, it falls just short of masterpiece, and it falls there for a specific reason. Obviously, I won't say the details, but
spoiler free.
There is a point where you sort of think that the game is over.
Yes.
And it's not. And the things that happen to propel the story forward from there, specifically something that Attic mentioned about character motivations, it didn't make sense to me.
So hold on. Out of curiosity, obviously no spoiler. You give this a 10 out of 10 like King does?
No, I don't.
No, he don't. He gives it a 9 out of 10.
No. I thought
you didn't even. Did you say no? Not even a 9 out of 10?
No. Make no mistake. Everyone should play this game. Whether you're gonna love it, you're gonna hate it. In terms of this thing that people have with the love for the characters.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like Neil Druckmann and the actors, they love these characters more than anybody. So they had to make the decision to tell this story in the way that they did, knowing full well how people would react. All of that aside, you have to always remember this is their story to tell.
Right. King has always said that.
You have no agency here. Either you're on board or you're not.
Thank you.
So I will say this, but it almost broke the game for me because the motivation.
Wow. I gotta put the Addict's World in motive. This is Addict World talk.
It's like I told you, Cognito. Like it's not that the game's bad because it's not. It doesn't make sense in a lot of scenarios.
And I think for the most part it does. I don't.
No, I said in a lot of scenarios.
So this one singular part.
This is a specific part. I know what he's talking about.
Right,
that propels you towards the climax, towards the conclusion.
Right.
And the motivations in that moment to take you. Now, mind you, for me, I feel the ending and everything is fantastic.
Okay.
I just felt cheated because I felt like I didn't earn that.
Gotcha.
Because of what happened just prior to that.
Right.
Got you. Okay. Fair enough.
So to the point where I was like, I had to get up for a minute. I was upset. Like at the way it went down, I was upset. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think much like the characters in this game, I had to get over it. Okay. And I got over it.
I don't get over anything.
Yes, Attic, we know.
No.
Yeah. So
just because I have to agree with them, don't mean I ain't. That's the sovereign world of thinking right there. This is the Attic world. Okay.
It's again like it's either you're gonna like it or you don't. It's their story to tell.
I'm not doing this one way or the other. Okay, I'm in the middle and I'm planting my flag down.
No, and I am.
You can do.
I am firmly in. Like I said, it's not a masterpiece for that reason. I think that it sort of just didn't land for me the way it should have. Though the ending I felt was fantastic and would have landed so much better for me personally if that lead up part had been different.
Fair enough.
At the end of the day, man, there's only one thing that truly matters. Final Fantasy VII is the better game.
Oh my God, here we go.
Anyway, you can jump yourself in the bushes.
I'm not kidding. No. I'm legitimately not being like.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm being serious. I honestly
me too. I'm being real serious too. Shout out to the genius of Neil Druckmann. Shout out to the genius. And I can't.
Did you put it into the bushes? Because I honestly think 7 is better.
I can't give genius to the Final Fantasy, and the reason why I can't give a genius to the Final Fantasy is like me rewriting Ether. Like me taking the bare bones of Ether and saying, you know what, Nas, move over, baby. Let me put my flavor on this. And for a new generation. Let me get the new generation.
I know we're about to do Game of the Year talk, but we haven't guessed it. We got a lot of shows.
Yes,
we got to move on. Let's get this super chat. Shroom King, $2 super chat. You need these to get over things, Addy. Wow. Okay.
Wow, because he know they in my pocket.
Oh my God. So pretty much
Christopher Hart's agreeing with me. If he's agreeing with me, the world is end. He said, I agree. Final Fantasy VII is better.
You Hart slandering a Sony title? Whoa. We might have to document that.
They're both Sony titles, technically, right?
With another Sony title.
With another Sony.
You got to leave Christopher.
So soft. That's been pretty much it. You got that done.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I needed a little sort of like cool down after that, so I picked up Curse of the Moon Part 2.
Okay.
The Bloodstained.
Yes. Which version did you pick, sir?
I got the Switch version because
Switch coming in hot. Let's go.
That's the Game Pass. That's a dub, sir.
Is it in Game Pass? I know Crosscode is in Game Pass. I don't know about.
No. I got that Bloodstain. That's in Game Pass. Sir.
Don't you love how Cognito specifically baited out the Switch so he could put that emote, and it's still going. He still hasn't put it off yet.
Lord Giuseppe, the Switch here gets a lot of love, so we just try to educate people that these titles are available on portable.
On multiple platforms.
Yeah, I love my Switch.
Wait, hold on. What did you hear that? Could you repeat that, Lord Giuseppe?
I love my Switch.
Coming in hot. Let's go. See, some people appreciate the finer things in life.
Cognito, we're gonna talk about how you was regretting playing Mortal Kombat on the Switch and not.
No, we're not gonna discuss that. So we're gonna move on. We're not gonna battle you.
The parts of bigger games are hit and miss. I mean, they are interesting technically, but they are not great to play. But the original games or the indie games are
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we have the newly tattooed Incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer, the Lord of Combat Sports, King of the Statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience. It is the leader of the Fraud Alert movement.
Woo.
Beloved Lord King, how are we doing, sir?
Feeling good, baby. We had combat yesterday.
Yes, sir.
We had 7-hour tattoos yesterday. Shout out to Wilmy Hood on the 7-hour tattoo. Because the tattoo artist, Pony Montana, wanted to have symmetry on my chest. The nipple area is definitely completely scared what's going on. Heard all the ruckus going on, and the nipple came out. I was like, "What's going on up there?"
So we have the crest. We have the crest of the Lords now officially tattooed on your chest. Is it official? How does it feel? How does it feel, sir?
I feel like I was under.
It feels tender right now.
The knife for 7 hours. Yeah, we did take a break. Which is it's whatever. I'd rather just go through it. Just keep going. But somebody had came in to get a tattoo, and the way we had scheduled it, the King messed up. But shout out to Full Moon Tattoo Artist Studios and Pony Montana for taking care of that tattoo.
My God, the chat.
And I was giving Wilmy Hood pictures updates while it was going down because he had his grandson with him yesterday, so he couldn't do the live FaceTime with me. But the video will be up soon because I didn't have I wasn't access to a couple of things.
Bro, you was in there for 8 hours.
Yeah, I gotta edit a lot of that stuff. You're not gonna get 7 hours worth of video.
Shout out to you for putting out the preview You know what I'm saying? To give us a little taste. Like, you didn't even have to do that. Like, that was love. Like, give us a little
Oh,
preview.
no. You definitely gonna understand. If you want to see the nipple in full effect, you're gonna have to pay. You have to be a Patreon member. You're gonna have to be a member of the realm. The nipple is not fans only.
Shout out to Tasuichi with the follow super chat. He said, "Where's King's OnlyFans leak?" Yeah.
Exactly.
And shout out to Wilby with the $15 super chat. Who did that for you?
Will. Go take care of the baby. Go sit down. You're out of here. Wow.
Sit this one out.
He wasn't able to sit this one out. Oh my god.
I didn't get a chance to watch the MMA yesterday because the King was I was just tired.
He was under the rope.
Yeah, because I was in a cool environment, right? So the environment was completely cool. It felt Arctic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then after I left out of the tattoo shop, now you're in one freezing cold situation, and you walk outside to humidity in New York City.
Oh, New York,
It felt like somebody put a weighted vest on me. And I was like, oh my God. And it completely drained me of my energy. So I, took the whole night to get my energy back.
Well,
but
shout out to the food and the drinks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I saw the Sex the Beach. It was very, very, very fantastic, sir.
Definitely fantastic. Oh yeah, always. So shout out to Game Pass. Yo, I gotta give Anchorman his props. Yo, your Anchorman, man, told you, we love Fallout 76, and it has a new home. I turned it up, I tuned it up, and I made me, and I look good in it. I look good in there. Had a little gray in the beard. It was nice. It was no Just for Men because it's supposed to apocalyptic. So I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, had it like that. But the game is definitely Fallout. It's nice. Fallout, and I was like, the frame rate is beautiful, everything, because I'm playing on an X, so it looks fantastic. But also, somebody told me to download Crosscode, so I downloaded Crosscode yesterday.
I hear horns. Horns. Jay Bailey, throw the crest up. Welcome to the realm. I'm a little early, you guys will get it, but Jay Bailey, I just heard horns. New member of the realm. Salute.
There go those crests. Put those crests up. I'm playing the Messenger, and trying to finish that game is out of control.
Sabotage Studios, brother.
Yeah, there's so many games that's inside Game Pass right now. Because I want to get back to all the Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, and I have all these stuff in my queue. So I'm trying to do this round robin and stuff, but I did so many interviews this week leading up. That was why there was no KOS this week, bro. You've been busy. I got a box coming in tomorrow. So that box is that's the box that you guys voted on. You guys voted on Miles Morales, so you already know that ahead of time that a premium format will be here tomorrow. I'm doing spoiler cast on Last of Us 2, the remix, the more in-depth deep dive of psychology of the game, the magnificent.
He's got to break it down more to justify the nonsense that goes down in that
game. Genius of Neil Druckmann.
God, I'll be sure
to make little. Did that for you, Neil Druckmann emoji soon.
There's so much symbolism in that game, though. Crazy stuff that it can go right over your head. It doesn't matter. You take from the game what you want, but even when it comes down to the music and it's everything is there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a whole bunch to it. But y'all, could y'all please tell me who won what fights yesterday?
Let me just get the super chat and then solve a start.
Yeah, we have a couple.
Yeah, I think I'm up to Dan, right? I got Dan, shout out to Dan, seasoned gaming in the building, $5 super chat. I am hereby relinquishing my shares in King's left knee, giving the news this week, Addict. It's all yours. I'll watch from the bushes. So you want to get? We
got a little chocolate. That was $2 super chat. Woo! Salute, Lord. And once again, shout out to Joe Bailey for joining the round.
No doubt.
We have Tazuichi again. Hold on. Wow. Tazuichi with the $5 super chat. Also, King Hulk is on its way. Sir, you might get Hulkbuster Iron Man to go head to head with him.
Okay. So I don't know, sir. I'm in position because Tuesday I have another unboxing that we're gonna be doing on Dolph Castle X channel, and the head of Spec Fiction, it's a statue purchasing company. You can purchase your statues through Spec Fiction. They have payment plans and stuff like that, and he has a Hulk transformation that he might, get the king for a nice price.
Oh, okay.
So
A statue on deck. Nice.
Yeah.
That statue's $2,000. So
I think he was talking about that's what he's going to try to do. But
okay, got you.
Yeah. We've been talking. Me and Tommy.
No doubt. Everybody threw the crest up for the new round. Remember, it was a joke. Yeah. All right, no doubt. So that's been pretty much it, man. We gotta move on. A lot of show, and of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the IOP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Shout out to the Last Word List Friday, man. Salute, Ebontis, my bro. We had Chibi Kim from the amazing Resolute clan talking Destiny. Destiny's been a fantastic play. Season of Rivals is amazing, solve, and that's why I ain't been playing that, because Season of Rivals has been damn amazing. And when Destiny's good, I don't play anything. Hold on, let me talk about Destiny, brother, right now. Shout out to Gaming Forte, the bro. Have a great stream, Lords. Glad to be affiliated with great people. Have an iced coffee on myself, Slow Mo, and the rest of the Brap podcast. Brap in the building, Slow in the building, Forte in the building. Salute y'all. You already know it's all love. But yeah, man, I've been doing that, and I was gonna say, just some great story beats. Been rocking that, and then hopefully I can get everything done. And it looks like I'm gonna ease right into Ghost of Tsushima this week, so we'll do that.
I've actually been playing that Slay the Spire that's on Game Pass.
Yeah. Woo! Let's go. So you already know. So look, we got a lot to show you. Obviously, we know why we are here. Oh, Basov, you wanted to get something?
Are we gonna appease the masses and talk a little MMA, or we can just?
My bad. Yeah. So real quick, I saw the last 3.
I'm gonna get something to drink.
Yes, I'll make it quick. Because I know they get mad. This is for Tazuichi. I saw the 3. I saw the Aldo and Jan, I believe, right?
So I saw the entire card, right?
Okay.
So from the jump, Amanda Ribas versus Paige Van Zandt. Mm-hmm. Paige is just outclassed again. I mean, I think something about Paige's like fight IQ. Mm-hmm. Like once she gets in there, she sort of seems to forget and lose what she's learned, and when she's put in certain situations, she just kind of loses it, and she just got tapped out. Dana White made a statement saying, like, I think she should consider free agency.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I think Paige, I mean, maybe she needs to go someplace else to feel like the spotlight is less on her and improve. So yeah, I don't know what her future is in the UFC. Then we had the rematch between Jessica Andrade and Thug Rose. And Thug Rose pulled it out. She pulled it out. It was a great fight yet again. Andrade was like a relentless, in range one all day, throwing bombs. And Rose managed to keep the distance. She got hit with a lot of stuff too, but she managed to use her jab, keep the distance, use her feet. And in general, she showed ring generalship. Where it was obvious she sort of won the fight, but it was very well contested. And I would like to see. I'm thinking Rose is gonna fight. Was it Zhang Weili?
Yes,
for the title. That should be interesting. Rose looks like she's recommitted, so that's good. Then we had Piotr Jan versus Jose Aldo.
Oh, I saw that one. And he hit him with a body shot on the ground and made Aldo look like he got shot.
He hit him with the caca maker.
Yes.
So Aldo, the thing about Aldo is, man, he looks great for his age. He still has body. The thing about Aldo is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And Aldo, he's just not built to be standing in the pocket with people anymore. Like
too many wars, bro.
Too many wars. Like he's not built for that with somebody who can go toe to toe with him. And he doesn't really utilize his jiu-jitsu at all. So when he decides that's what he's going to do, which is 99% of the time, he's probably going to be on the receiving end of an L, because it's just like the chin isn't the same no matter what you say. He took some good shots here, but it's just not the same. It's just not.
Saw that. Salute to the boy. It was a good fight, though. It was a couple of moments. Aldo did have some moments, though.
Yeah, absolutely did have some moments. Aldo moments when he just kicks the leg out from under.
Kick the leg, make you spin. Yeah, I saw that.
Exactly. And then we had the featherweight championship rematch with Alexander Volkanovski versus Bless Max Holloway. Max got robbed.
Straight up.
Max got robbed. Again, fantastic fight, well contested fight all the way through. Volkanovski again using the fact that he has issues with height and reach when it comes to fighting Holloway. He managed to move in and out very well. He caught Holloway with a lot, but I think Holloway just kind of commanded the ring for the most part of that fight, especially the first 3 rounds. It was sort of obvious. So to say that he lost that fight was, I didn't see that.
Judging in MMA, man.
And MMA. And then, of course, we had the main event.
Scarface! Let's go. Nigeria, what's up?
Yeah, okay. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. Game bread. And honestly, Usman did what he needed to do to win.
Shout out to the boring style.
Yeah, the boring
People
style.
Were not pleased.
People were not pleased at all. And Kamaru Usman could care less.
He could care less, bro.
So Usman got the win?
Oh, yeah.
He got the win.
He controlled him, man.
He controlled him. In the beginning, Masvidal managed to get, he managed to get his combos off or whatnot. But the thing is, he was just not ready for Kamaru's ground game. Kamaru, once he saw he could take him down,
it was a wrap.
That's all he was doing.
There was one moment in the fight, I would say round 3, where he had like a side lock, and then he just tossed him. And then, why are you laughing at it? You're out of control.
Because, I know dudes out here salty.
Oh, yeah, I'm salty. I ain't going front. I like game bread. I'm very salty.
I know.
You're not a Masvidal fan?
I thought you would.
I love the guy.
Oh.
I'm just saying. I know how dudes feel. Okay, listen. I'm really indifferent with it. I like the dude, right? I'm not really, like passionately behind him, right? So, but I know how dudes, when they be like, "That's my champion, get the win," and it didn't happen. I really thought he was gonna get the win, but he's not gonna be blasting out people with the knee because they're not gonna run to go tackle him real quickly in the beginning of the match. So
come on, that's all.
Yeah, Kamaru's just, he doesn't care about that. He's gonna play to his strengths, which he should. But Masvidal, again, he was prepared, but not obviously wasn't prepared.
A couple of days though, so he only took that fight last
but
year.
He always keeps himself in shape, right? Yeah. This is a new Masvidal now. Yeah. So, but he needed to be ready for the ground game, and he just wasn't.
He just wasn't. Yeah, shout out to him.
He just wasn't. And that's it. So it's gonna be interesting. Shout out to Fight Island in Abu Dhabi.
Yes. Yes. Salute to the no crowd.
But it felt like it was more. It felt more.
I can't. That's why it's hard for me to watch UFC. Toss with you. This is why it's hard for us to do. For me to do the UFC joint, because it's just not the same. When they come in the ring and you can hear them coughing and you're like,
no, but it gives it a nice gym feel. It gives it a different atmosphere, and you get to hear a lot more, because a lot of times you don't really hear the impact of punches. You don't really hear where
you know what it is, though?
Game changing stuff.
It almost feels, and I know this is probably not true, but it feels like almost they're not in it as much as they.
Yeah, because you could tell when Masvidal's coming in, he's like from Miami. He's hyping himself up, laughing.
Well, you have to, because remember, all gladiators need to fight off of the crowd.
That's the crowd.
That energy, that switch.
The reason why I don't like watching UFC right now, I'm almost finished this episode. We're gonna get into. I'm sorry, but the reason why I hate it is because I know a lot of dudes that fold under them lights. And when there's gym, come on, King, you know the truth. There's gym dudes, and then there's dudes that can perform under lights. I think Masvidal is a lights dude, and for whatever reason, I'm not taking that away from.
So all right, so listen, this is the thing that Dana was having a problem with. Football is going to introduce artificial crowd noise. They've been doing it for years, but this time is going to be a little bit more out there, because there won't be anybody there, and then you will hear the artificial crowd noise. Now, what they were trying to figure out is how do they implement artificial crowd noise in MMA.
Right.
Because they was trying to experiment with it before, because that was on the table. Dana said no, he didn't want it because it gives a clear advantage to either fighter. Right. What I would say is have a person with like a ooh wee button. Right. So when a punch lands, you be like ooh wee.
I'm done.
And it definitely it amps them up, and they feel they want to get that ooh wee off.
Man said ooh wee, but I cannot with you right now. Anyway, let's get the super chat. We gotta get it, Giuseppe. Shout out to Stitch.
Let's get on, man.
Yeah, 6660 now. Follow super chat. King, based on some hot rumors out in the streets, you might have to get more than one storage unit to store
I'm about to buy a new house, bro.
Boxes of these. He said, "Who did that for you?" Book event. So have we going up?
Yeah, well, we have Tazuichi again. Undercard over-delivered. The main card was okay. The undercard was the gem. You got to watch more unnamed fighters for undercard fights. Trust Oldemir. Oldemir got KO. Yes,
That's a fact. So look, man, we got all that out the way. Let's get into the main event. The reason why a lot of us are here. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about the amazing Lord Giuseppe in the building, man. So let's get into it, man. Obviously, you know, you got to talk about your video game system history, you know, your passion for retro gaming, and of course, as one of the top coders in Italy, you know what I'm saying, his journey, what led you to SplashDamage, and of course, becoming the principal gameplay programmer at the amazing GearsTactics. So, Lord Giuseppe, let's start from the very beginning. What were some of the first video game systems you had, and what got you into gaming?
So I started with a PC. So my first computer was a 286 machine, like so MS-DOS.
Nice.
And that was I was 7 or 6 years old.
Wow, baby.
And that was and that was because it was just from my my dad's office. It was an old machine by the standards of that day, and it was just this second-hand PC. So yeah, I started there, and I started with the first games were like this weird. You know, I remember a submarine simulator, and because my dad was big into simulators and strategy games and stuff.
So he was a gamer himself, a little bit.
Awesome. A little bit. It was mostly for him. It was either it's still games from time to time, but it's always like some grand strategy kind of game. So Civ and this kind of stuff. So
Stinger says 286 represent a lot of 286 fans in there. Continue.
Oh yeah. From there I got then I had 486 and so on. You know, but the first games that really made an impression on me were the first one was Prince of Persia. That one was my second game ever that I actually played. So I remember like sitting on my dad's legs and like trying to play the game. That was like for me that one was like, oh wow, this little guy like moving around the screen, that was like insane,
amazing.
And and then I think Another World that it's
bro, you coming from a heart now. That's literally one of my favorite games of all time. Made by one guy, Eric Chahi, who I actually met for the first time this year in person. He was at PAX 2020, and I have a video up on the chat. That game is like, talk to me. Let's talk some Another World real quick. Go ahead, Giuseppe.
I'm so jealous of you,
bro. I'll send you the pictures.
I'm a really big fan. That game for me was the moment where I knew like okay, I want to do this. I want to do this kind of stuff, because it was like a movie. You know, you had the credits, you have the name like showing up. So at that moment, I knew like, oh, games are actually made by people. There is someone that is actually doing this.
Dude, Giuseppe, wasn't it so good? The atmospheric storytelling without really any narrative. And you just figuring things out in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's just it is truly a masterpiece, man. I absolutely love that game. So that was the game that kind of sparked you a bit.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. And that was actually also when I started later on, obviously, programming. That was the first game I tried to clone as well. I started to do my own 2D cinematic platformer at that time.
Nice.
And that was the first thing I tried. I failed miserably.
Salute to the attempt. Salute to the attempt.
I didn't have the skills of Eric Chai, obviously.
Good.
But but that was it really. And as I was saying before, for me the thing that really changed was during high school, the first year of high school, I think. I got my hands on this modem, so I got
66K
into the internet. Yep. and from there, back then it was IRC and newsgrabs and mailing list, and so So in a IRC channel that was about programming and all this kind of stuff, I met one guy. And somehow this guy was older than me. He was already like studying in the university. He was studying computer science, and I begged him to let me know more about like all this stuff. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to just mail you something. I'm going to mail you a package because the modem was so slow back then. So without my parents knowing, I gave him like my home address and everything.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So I was like, sure.
Here's my address.
That's the exact reason why I don't let my son play online. That's the exact reason.
Here's my 56K modem. Here's my address.
Shout out to Bad Judgment. Let's go.
It was a different time. It was a different time. Continue.
It was. I mean, we used nicknames, and so I didn't even knew like this guy's real name.
You even know this is IRC chat. This is like the days of AOL. We're just like cool with random people. We act like they're our friends. I love it.
When the dark web was in your face.
To be honest, I think the internet is scarier, way scarier now.
Yes.
There's more people as well. Yeah.
So what was the package? Talk to me.
And the package contained 2 CD-ROMs. One CD-ROM had Visual Studio 6.0. So one package was Visual, obviously a totally legit copy of Visual Studio.
Oh, look, completely legit. Completely legit. All the other rules were abided by. Continue.
Yeah, and the other one was game changing as well for me. It was a CD-ROM full of ROMs and an emulator called Genesis. It was one of the early Genesis emulators.
Sav seems to be familiar. What expand, Sav? You seem to be relating to this.
I remember like there was when it was very difficult to download anything on your 56K modem, right?
Oh yeah.
You would find alternative resources online, shall we say? So I remember a site that I went to that it was called Sell Sold Gone. And it was just I stumbled upon it and I didn't realize what it was until I started flipping through and I realized something was up when it was like, yeah, just email me and I'll tell you what I have.
Shout out to the shady dealings.
But once I emailed him, I was like, oh wow, like it was really like when I say the dude had everything, it was everything. Like my first order with him was probably like $200 worth of. I'm not gonna say what, but
shout out to the ROMs. Shout out to the. So you had that Visual Studio 6, and then you had the ROM, the Genesis. Talk to me.
Yep. So from there, I started learning C++.
Nice.
With that copy of Visual Studio 6.
Wow.
And I started learning DirectX. And there was DirectX 8 and then 9. So the first shaders and stuff like that.
Wow. Now, was it daunting at all for you? I mean, because look, I work in IT, but I tried my hand for a second at program, for a second. And Giuseppe, I realized very quickly I was not built for this. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't built for SQL database, and I wasn't built for a lot of this stuff. Like, were you? I know the passion was there, but were you at any point overwhelmed by like just coding and programming?
I don't think so. It was mostly for me because it was kind of my thing in a way. It was I could spend like entire days just trying to figure out something really small, like moving a character on the screen or like this kind of stuff. Yeah. But that's back then. It was. I think there was this element of discovery as well. At least for me, because you didn't have like tutorials on YouTube or this kind of stuff. So there were this group of people in news grabs or in chats and stuff like that they were doing their own cool stuff.
Yeah, and
they were like sometimes like sharing this, but there was not a real like community for me. It was just me trying to figure out stuff out back then, and so. that didn't really. I didn't have like a goal. Okay, I'm going to to make a complete game or something. Right. That was, it was my intention. It was I always tried to make like this ginormous game that was like always like impossible to do. But it was like something that it was just my hobby in a way. It was just when you try to learn guitar or something like that. For me, it was trying to program a game.
Gotcha.
And I even started before I had the internet. I used like all these kind of tools. For example, I got this software one time in a newsstand or something that there was this other like game making software. It was called.
Give me some name. You remember the name?
So yeah, sure. The very first one I used was Click and Play. That's from Click Team, and they are still active. They do this multimedia fusion, I think it's called. Right. It's one of the earliest Windows-based, like UI-based game making tool. Nice. Then there was another one I tried for quite a while. It was called Div Game Studio, and that was from a Spanish developer called Amer Technologies back then. And that was interesting because it had a complete environment. So it had a proper programming language, so Pascal-like, and then you had a map editor that looked like the Doom map editor. So you could make like 3D environments, very Doom-like maps. So yeah, I played with that for a while, but then obviously when I upgraded my machine to something that had like a proper 3D card, like the Matrix Mystic or something like that. Back then. But when I started like doing that stuff, and then with the internet, it was like way easier for me because suddenly I knew about OpenGL and DirectX, and I could download the SDK from the Microsoft side, and just learn this stuff. And there was the language barrier for me as well.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, how did you deal with the language barrier? One, and then two was I had heard a story. You correct me if I'm wrong. That you kind of got your story about you sent a letter to like a games magazine for your interest to get into. So for us, it would be like the equivalent of like a EGM or a Game Pro and say, hey, I want to like, is that was true? That was true.
Yep.
Nice.
Yes, definitely.
Nice.
Yep.
So how did you deal with that in the language barrier? How did you do all
that? So for the language barrier, obviously it's something that I did like during the years. So when I like start my English got better in high school. But it was also a way to learn English in a way.
So you was doing two hard things at one time. You were learning English and learning how to program.
Wow,
that's incredible.
Bananas. Yeah,
we cannot gloss over that, brother. That is impressive.
And learning English is, I guess, it's the byproduct of staying on the internet and like At first, I was in this kind of bubble of Italian like news grabs and small forums and stuff. But then I obviously started looking at English stuff as well, and that was when really like opened the entire.
He said that's where the real criminals was at, so I had to move over from there because they were sending me better stuff.
Oh my god! Shout out to the Dodge Knight with the £5 super chat, chilling on the English coast, listening to the Lords. Perfection. Salute to the Dodge Knight and the Dicky Knight. Salute.
We have 222 in the chat.
Yes,
let's get them likes up, guys. Come on, man. Give Giuseppe his props. Let's go.
Already know. Almighty Stubbs, what's going on? Mighty Spartan God, what's going on? These are some great stories going on right now. So
and the magazine thing.
Yes, tell me about the mag. I was about to go back.
Yeah, the magazine was the equivalent of PC Gamer in Italy. I sent this letter to the magazine bragging that I was doing a new 3D engine.
Bragging? Was this accurate, Giuseppe? Or were we embellishing a little bit?
I was doing what I was doing. I was ripping 3D models from lots of games, So I had like a few models from Quake. I had
Nice.
the back then it was brand new. The model from Max Payne. I think I tried to rip. That was even before maybe. But yeah, so I had this 3D engine going that was capable of loading like in models in the format of like the Quake 2 and 3 format. So yeah, I was doing that, but it was obviously it was nowhere near like an actual professional tool of like, but it was like a fun project, and it was mostly me alone up to this point. But then in high school, I kind of joined another nerd like me that it was dabbling on web development. He was doing websites as a like his own gig, and then we decided to make a forum for hobbyist developers in Italy. So it was 2003, I think. Yeah,
wow,
when we did this forum for Italian speaking game developers, let's say. And yeah, from there I met a lot of people, and that kind of grew up and went on its own way.
That's what's up. Now let me ask you. I just want to back you up 1 second because I forgot to ask. Obviously we talked about the PC beginning as far as from your gaming history standpoint, right? And then I noticed you mentioned I heard a little Mega Drive in there, right? So what were the other? My question is, what were the other classic games or consoles or whatever that may have influenced you, or was it just a PC only thing? Like, give me some big influences, video game retro wise, for you.
So I was lucky enough that even if I only had PC, I had friends with some friends had the Amiga, some friends had my cousins, for example, had the Super Nintendo. Woo! And so I got to play a little bit of everything, and we also had an arcade just next to my house in my little town. It was a very shady place.
It was sounds like a mod story. Continue.
Yeah, it was something that my parents actually they were like I used to play Street Fighter 2 in the arcades or Outrun, whatever. And but my parents would got really
they were not happy you were visiting this establishment to play video games.
Yeah,
he was very disobedient.
It was really, and to be honest, they had their reasons.
That's right.
This place was like going back and now that I know more about
deep in certain aspects of Italy.
Little town in Sicily.
A little town in Sicily. That sounds like a new movie. I like that. A little town in Sicily.
Shout out to him playing video games in the Godfather's house.
Shout out to the Goombas out there. Salute.
He's not playing. Awesome.
I love how he said, now that I found out later.
They went to the record trying to protect me.
Oh my God. It's little Giuseppe. We know him. Come in.
He's in the back. It's fine. He doesn't bother.
He doesn't bother anybody. It's just little Giuseppe. Don't pay him to mind. But on jokes aside, so the arcade was still big for you as far as going there.
Oh, yes.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, I clearly remember like when we finally had Street Fighter at home and in the Super Nintendo, that was like
it's game changing.
Super big, yes.
And you just stayed through it all the way through, as far as all the way up into what generation would you say? Did you taper off at any point, or like did you go through the 16-bit to 32-bit era, like, or did you just like PC out? Like where did you progress?
So I got through all of them, but for me it was mostly the PC. So
Gotcha.
From that era of the 8 and 16-bit machines, that was where I'm most nostalgic and fond of. So that's where I collect I collect Super Famicom and Mega Drive games. And
I saw the collection, sir. It's super impressive. Super impressive. Like, if anybody, listen, you got to follow Lord Giuseppe's Twitter because he's got some retro stuff up there, man. It is classic throwback stuff, man. It's so good. So it's like you're still able to find this stuff now to this day, right?
I'm looking at his Fallout guy right over there.
I saw you got a kind of brand new copy of Ninja Warriors.
Ooh.
Oh yes, that was my latest acquisition. Yep.
What was that 4-player side scroller soft? Wasn't that?
What
was that?
Ninja
Warriors?
Warriors?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was there an arcade version of Ninja?
Yes, there was an arcade version of Ninja Warriors. And when you start hitting them and they face start coming out and they start turning into robots. I played it like last month. I have it.
King, I remember that game scared me because I didn't know. I thought they were human, but like you said, when they took damage. I believe it was in
and but Giuseppe, in your arcade, because I would play on 42nd Street and they had 3 screens and it was the first 16:9 game that you can play.
Yeah, it was even longer. It was like the aspect ratio of that game is like it's insane.
Yeah, they showed the whole screen. So you were able to walk to all 3 screens. I remember it because it was completely different from what we were playing at the time, right? And it showed like the view because it automatically draws you in. But then as you're playing as the ninja and they start to take damage, you notice, oh my God, I'm playing with a robot. At this time, right? And that was like the game changer because at first you was like, okay, they're humans, but no, the damage that they were inflicting and they're robots. It was the first like Terminator game.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm like, I'm a Terminator. Yeah. What is this? As a kid, I was like scarred by that. It messed me up. But you're right. Like the aspect ratio, right, was so huge. At that time, I don't remember a game kind of
it was no game that had that aspect ratio except if you sat down in the cars, like if you were like using the cars with the steering wheels, you know, you had to pay $2 to sit down inside. So when you had those arcade machines, they showed you the big screen, but this was like the first like stand-up machine that had that wide screen, and that's why it stood out to me.
Do you remember who the developer was? I can't remember.
Taito.
Taito. Soft.
They even did like this kind of setup with the 3 screens. I think there was also a Darius game.
Yes.
That had like this same kind of super wide thing going on. But I never, to be honest, seen one of the original con-ops around.
Oh wow!
Because obviously, here in Europe and especially in Italy, we so like the actual original like coin up with the artwork and everything, it was quite rare to get one of those in the
very rare. I would assume expensive too. I mean, it was such a unique setup. Let me just get the super chats real quick. Shout out to Say Cedric H with a $10 super chat. Stopping by to show some love. Salute. And then we got Stitch again. He keeps thinking we missing his chats. He said $5 super chat. King got his tat. Why Attic isn't wearing his uniform? That was not the deal. Fraud alert. Look, Attic is still waiting. I gotta protect Attic. He's still waiting on the trucker hat. That's the holdup. So we need the trucker hat to complete the cipher, and then King he's all straight. We just waiting for him to do the video. The man just did an 8-hour thing. Give him a break. He gonna put it up. You know what I'm saying on the IOP OnlyFans.
Y'all gonna get a chance to see that very soon. I'm just trying to look for Ninja. What was it called again?
It's called the Ninja Warriors.
Ninja Warriors.
Yeah, King probably has it.
Yeah,
and the Super Famicom version or Super Nintendo version is the sequel.
Yeah,
that one it's a completely different game, but it's also like sometimes they do this sort of it's a sequel, but it's also a remake of the first game.
Yes.
And recently they did that again. There is it's on Switch and on PS4.
Yes,
really?
yes.
And it's pretty good as well. The latest remake, it's they redrawn the entire Super Nintendo game. They redid all the sprites. They redid the soundtrack. And it's amazing.
Wow, that's what's up, man. So let's get into Splash Damage right quick, and I want to talk about like how did that opportunity come about, and obviously like Splash Damage is very unique. I feel in the sense of they kind of have their own IPs. And then you guys also help out on like the big games, the AAA games as well. So like, how did that whole thing opportunity come out? And also, what stuff did you work on also during the your process there? Like I think Gears franchise, obviously we know Tactics. We'll get into that. But just let us know like the games you've also had an involvement on your journey to SplashDamage?
So before SplashDamage, I worked many years in Italy, even if Italy has a very small game dev industry, and especially when I started. Right now there are a few interesting companies out there, but I started in I got my first job in the industry in 2007.
Okay.
So I actually dropped university just to get a job, and I moved to Milan.
Wow.
And so I told my parents oh yeah, in 2 weeks I'm moving to Milan.
Wow. How did that go over, sir?
Yeah, that was quite a discussion.
Similar to the arcade discussion. So you just moved to Milan? Wow.
Yeah. I just moved to Milan. I worked on a game that even never came out. I think it was back then. It was the Wii has just come out. It was like the PlayStation 3, but this game was still like in this development limbo. It was for PS2 instead.
Okay, what was it there? Give me a name. Give me a name.
It was called the Black Corsair.
Okay.
So if you Google that, there is probably like a video or something, but it was an awful game. It was one of those games that you know, it's that specific era of video games of shovelware when you had a game that had a little bit of everything, and it was like a puzzle game, it was an adventure game. It was like
it's trying to be everything.
But so I started working on that. Then from there, I worked on many other small companies, and I did many years as a freelance in Italy as well.
Gotcha.
Before leaving for UK, I made several mobile games as well. For the iPhone, for example, I worked on the Superbike series. It's a motorbike championship.
Oh yeah, motorbike champion, almost like in a MotoGP kind of vein. I remember. Yeah.
So I worked on these SBK titles for a while, and then I moved here. I moved here to London.
And here being London.
Here being London.
Okay, gotcha.
I actually live even super close to the office.
Oh, so you're right next to the studio. That's nice.
I live here in Bromley, and I moved here in 2016, and I joined SplashDamage after a week long of interviews all over the place in the UK.
Okay.
I got like a free a week of holiday from my job, and I planned this with my then girlfriend and now wife actually, and that was we did this crazy week where I will do one interview in a different city.
Wow.
Like every day. So it was like one day was Oxford, and then the other day was Sheffield, and the other day was like Leamington, and then
and
London.
These are all gaming studios,
all gaming companies. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So because I did this few interviews, using Skype before, like the initial stuff. So from there, I got like a week worth of face-to-face interviews with gaming companies in UK, and then I was like, okay, let's try this. Nice. And so I do this kind of crazy week where I interviewed. It was 5 interviews in a week. So pretty much.
So literally, did it come down to SplashDamage and others, or was SplashDamage just kind of blew you away and it was a perfect fit?
So I already knew SplashDamage because I was a big fan of one of their first game, Wolfenstein.
Wow.
Enemy Territory was the multiplayer part of Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So I played that game for ages. I played mods of that game. I played I was a big SplashDamage fan, but I had other opportunities as well. But SplashDamage really got me with their the interview I did with them was really different, actually, and it's something that I try to do when I do interviews as well.
In what way?
It was really there was this human connection with the people I've interviewed. There was something that clicked. So we even started talking about the retro games like during the interview at some point.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, this is a cool company. I like the company culture. I like the people I've met here. So
nice, man. Yeah, man. I mean, one thing about, like I said, just looking at the site and a lot of the information that SplashDamage puts out, I again, looking from the outside in, you know, it seems to have a really cool culture. Like, you guys always seem to be putting out these videos and speaking to the developers. It feels like very family oriented, and they feel like gamers. Like that, I have to admit, just again, looking from the outside in. So based on what you're saying, it seemed like it resonated. You guys had that connection on the interview, and then, you know, the rest was there. So as far as you coming in, some of the first projects, was it the Gears franchise? Because I mean, SplashDamage's catalog, I mean, it's, you guys did the Arkham series. I mean, you know, Wolfenstein, doing Quake. Like, you got all these FPS, and I even think you did like a seminar or something, kind of like explaining what makes an FPS feel good and moving around. So like, what was some of the first games as soon as you hit the ground running with SplashDamage that you worked on?
So it was Gears 4. It was Gears of War 4.
Okay.
And actually, I got interviewed for another project. So they presented me a different project that that never got past the prototype stage. But so I was interviewing for that, and then one day before starting working on that, I got a call, and they told me like, oh, it's fine if we actually move you to this other project, and they only say the code name.
Right.
I was like, okay, do I tell them that I don't know what that is? Or they told me, so I was like, sure. Oh, yeah, that sounds great. And then I knew that was something Gears of War related, but back then I thought that it was Gears Ultimate Edition. They was like support.
Gears Ultimate, yes, because that was the remake, yes, on Xbox One. Correct.
So I was like, okay, so I guess it's going to be like support for Gears Ultimate or something like that.
Right.
So just
first
Got it.
Just out of curiosity,
do you know how hard it's been, Giuseppe? I found this game. I found part 2. I've been searching the whole time that you've been talking. I've been listening and paying attention. But see here, the 3 screens is gonna pop up right there. If you can see it over, and this is the actual one that's running off of the CRT. Right here, and this is it right here. See how it has the breakdown of the 3 screens, and they had used a special technology that it really wasn't 3 screens. It really was just 2 screens mimicking a 3-screen display.
Wow.
And just like you said, the Nintendo came out for TurboGrafx. It also came out for Genesis, but they were doing part 2. So I found part 2, like you said, that was on Super Nintendo, and I actually found the arcade game.
Classic.
I just like to bring back your classic,
that's
for you.
Up.
So
that's what's up. Ninja Warriors in the building, man. Real quick, just before you start, I know Attic, you had a question for Giuseppe.
I was gonna ask. Before you started working on the Gears franchise, was that a franchise that you played, or was it just something that you heard about that you never really had hands on?
Oh no! I actually got an Xbox 360 just to play Gears 4.
So it was.
That's my only.
What was the feeling like to work on a franchise of something that you played years ago?
It's crazy. It's something that if thinking back at it, it's like something that just a few months before I was in Italy, like doing mobile games, and I was pretty stressed out. I was actually working on a PlayStation 4 game, but it was like an indie title back then. So
Remember the name?
Yeah, it's Bookbound Brigade. It actually came. It's something that it's out. They actually released it recently.
Okay.
So it's a Metroidvania. It's a pretty cool game. But that was obviously like a super small team, and so it was completely different. And and it was something like I felt like, okay, it's either now or never, because it's like I cannot really
right. It's your shot. This is your shot, Giuseppe.
There's no room to grow. So yeah, and the interesting stuff was that when I started, so the first day I was like, okay, no, it's actually it's Gears of War 4, and that I think they just had, there was like E3 coming up.
Yes.
And there was this mad rush at doing the E3 bug fixing, and they also later on they were working on we were working on the multiplayer part for the open beta that
I remember.
So there was like this big open beta event, and so that was crazy because it got announced, and I mean I didn't even knew that SplashDamage was working on Gears of War 4 when I joined,
right?
Because obviously they NDA and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't to be assigned to a different project, so they were like, okay,
right.
But then when I was thrilled. I was like super happy. Obviously,
nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. And just real quick, I gotta ask you, because we assume, a lot of people assume, like, Coalition is just hands-on with it. Like, so is it a situation where Coalition says, hey, we need more hands on deck, let's bring in SplashDamage, you guys come? Like, how does that work? Because technically the Gears franchise is with Coalition, correct?
Oh yes, yeah. The Coalition is the main developer.
Because like technically contractors working for the game.
Gotcha.
Yes, and we helped on the multiplayer.
Nice.
Part of the game, we did many multiplayer maps. We so even post-launch, there was a team at SplashDamage that did many of the Gears of War 4 multiplayer maps for a year post-launch or something like that. So and then we when we shipped Gears of War 4, like the team got kind of split into two. So there was a part supporting Gears of War 4 and another part trying out this new project that then become GearsTactics.
Got you. Okay, so you transitioned right in as far as from 4 to Tactics. Now 5 not as much, but 4 and Tactics were you.
Yes,
got you.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
Gears 5 has another team at SplashDamage that it's working on.
Okay. So let's transition right on in, man. GearsTactics, man. Oh wow, like just pretty much, so much to talk about. I mean, obviously we talked about offline, how we feel about the franchise and stuff like that. Us being like huge turn-based, strategy kind of guys. But like just give me that whole process there, because you coming from a whole situation where you have this iconic franchise, like you worked on 4, right? And it's never been in this genre. It's never been in this format.
I'd assume switching from a third person to a turn-based strategy game is a huge different type of feeling.
Right. So you got this new IP. You guys responsible for this lore. Like explain like how difficult or that is maybe to translate that into that style of a game.
Well, it was tricky, but it was also I mean it was kind of weird because Gears is a franchise that you can really like the elements of the game, like it's obviously it's cover based, so there is all the there is already like you can tell by playing a multiplayer match, for example, that you have that kind of I need to flank the enemy, I need to like get over. There is all that stuff going on. So it was almost natural to just bring the camera up and see like okay, what's going on here, and it kind of already worked, but then also you need to iron out the design, and that's like we had an amazing team on that game, both on SplashDamage and on the side of the coalition. And it was a different project also because for us it was a game that is actually, well, the past Gears games, it was us helping out.
Right.
In this project was
this is you.
We owned the game. We designed the game. We created this from the ground up.
So let me back up 1 second. That you're dropping a major point there, because like you said, this is you. Like, you guys designed the game. Like, how does that conversation happen? That they, the coalition comes to you guys and say, we want you to make this for us. Like, how does that happen? Because that is a big deal. Like, to have the responsibility of this. This is your IP, right? This is SplashDamage IP in a sense, right?
So to be honest, I don't think I don't know all the details there.
Okay.
What really happened from my point of view, we got this. I knew that when this kind of stuff happens, it's always like I knew that this idea of the tactics games was someone at the coalition. I think Tyler, then he became the creative director of the project, and the other people had they wanted to do this this project, so it was probably from them. But I'm just speculating here because I got into the project when it was these things happen in the background, and then you got the project signed, and you go like, okay, this new thing.
This is what it is. Okay. So, like, I mean, but when you got the news, obviously, to what it was, and it's tactics, it's in this, universe. Like, how did those meetings start? Because from what I hear, this thing started out conceptually as a board game. That's what I was told, right? So, like,
and I think it was on Game Informer. I don't know. I don't remember the site, but if you Google a board game, GearsTactics, or something like that, it will probably come up with some photos as well. And yeah, one of the very first prototype of the game was our designers did this completely functional board game by also reusing the miniatures from the Gears of War tabletop game as well. So it was pretty cool. And yeah, from there you could already see some of the concept of the game already working. So yeah,
dope.
So I got a question real quick. I don't know if you'll have any knowledge to this, like when it comes to how closely was you guys working with Coalition? Like, was it like the biggest thing I think I really have is like, was there certain things that they wanted, like the animations to go, like the lore of the game? Like, was there a lot of things that your studio would collaborate with Coalition to come up with like a middle ground?
Right.
I mean, the Coalition is they are the Gears of War developers, so obviously they have to approve everything, and everything has to be proper Gears of War.
Right.
You have to nail this Gears of War feeling, and so yeah, it was the collaboration we had with them, it was really hands-on. So they were
so pretty much. Let me ask you. Let me ask you a quick in reference to that. Like, so let's just say you guys conceptually had an idea. Could the Coalition be like, look, we don't want this part, we don't want this in here, with that type of situation?
It's something that normally happens when you develop a game. There are, for everything that goes into the game, there's probably 100 things that didn't, in a way, because like you have this iteration phases, and you have there is always like this thing, especially at the start of the development of a game. You don't know really what the final product is going to look like.
Right.
You can get your best guess. You can try. You prototype things. You prototype certain mechanics. You prototype certain things, but there is only one point in the development phase where you go like, oh, okay, this is working. This is fun.
Right.
And you start like putting these different pieces together, and then you get a game. You get this very this sensation, like, okay, this is actually a game.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, in every project, it's not just GearsTactics. It's
Mm-hmm.
there is this phase of continuous discovery of
Right.
what you are going to do, especially when you are not working on a direct sequel of something.
Correct.
It's,
Mm.
so when it's a completely uncharted waters.
So it's just like discovery as you're going on. You're like, okay, this actually works. This can actually do this. How does it feel when you discover something that actually works and actually makes it into the game?
It's great. It's a great feeling, especially when you see something that the whole team goes like, oh, this is a game changer.
Can you give us an example of such said game changer?
That was definitely my question, because it's like, wait, when you look at GearsTactics, like it takes a lot of the conventions of an XCOM game and sort of it fits them into the Gears world in a way that only works sort of for Gears, like the things that you guys did with Overwatch, the things you guys did with like Line of Sight. It's different in a way that, looking at it from the outside, you're like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. So
yeah, I do like appreciate that. There's a lot of people who like to take the XCOM formula and do very little to nothing. Right. But you guys, like, you took that, that foundation that they built that game off and was like, all right, what can we do to make it Gears like? Yes. And you made it aggressive because that's how Gears is. You made it gory because that's how Gears is. You based it around the execution because that's how Gears is. Like, you don't really see people try to people try to adapt, not evolve. Right. That system.
I got a question. Yeah. Right. Who idea was it that after the execution you get to have an extra turn?
I love that.
Because I think that is probably
game changer.
It forces you to want to get that execution off, so you can actually have another turn to get your man either back undercover or actually back in position for an attack or a flank or something of that nature.
And sometimes you'll get put in a horrible position where you have snipers on you and stuff. And you was like, the only way I'm reaching them is if I kill at least 3 of these in some kind of lethal, gruesome way. And I'll say that I'll have to like throw a grenade and be like, please just go down. Don't blow up. Just go down. Just don't blow up. Just go down.
Execution. Good, Giuseppe. What do you think?
I don't have a name for that specific feature. I think it was just something that I don't remember who was that actually was the mechanic itself. But it was something that really changed the game for us as well. It was one of those moments of clarity where you implement something and you discover, oh wow,
that's it.
I could just see you guys now, like when you put that. I'm sure I'm not a dev, but I'm sure like when you try new ideals and you play that first build with that new ideal, you guys probably look around like, this is it.
This works.
I mean, it's so cool though, because besides the executions that keep you going again, right? You have that again, because let's be real, this thing is overwhelming odds. If anybody who play GearsTactics in the realm, when you guys get to play it on console, and yes, Shizno, he wants me to ask, when is it coming to console? I don't know if he can ask that, but they keep bugging me to ask you that. We'll get to it.
I mean, they say it soon, but it's something I can't discuss. Even because
we'll go with soon.
We'll go with soon. We'll get you in trouble.
Like you guys know in the chat, he can't answer that.
Exactly, Shizno. Come on, man. But look, at the end of the day, what makes it so cool, like I said, the overwhelming odds to going again, but also little nuances that I like, you guys. Like when I'm playing an XCOM game, I'm used to throwing on Overwatch a lot, right? So you go on Overwatch, and pretty much anything that comes in the vicinity, you can shoot. Not in Tactics. Tactics, you have to physically aim your vision cone down a specific path. And you have to be guessing. And it feels more realistic. So it's just not like this, I can see everything and I can react to everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So, yeah.
So Overwatch was my baby.
Let's go. Talk about it.
It's a feature that I wanted from, I think day one. Like it's something that we probably tried like doing in this paper prototype a little bit. But it's something that it's one of the very early features that I knew that I
the game needed it.
Yes,
I've noticed game types like that, if they don't have Overwatch, I'm automatically not as interested. Like,
but even the concept of cone of vision, it was something that I already knew that I wanted to do that way. So there was obviously a discussion with the designers, but I think everyone was very interested in trying this stuff out, and it was one of the first things I've implemented. So I implemented this code. And you can see in the when the game was announced at E3, there is a very early video of the game, and one of the feature was this Overwatch cone. In a different shape on it looked a little bit different from the version we shipped, but it was like already there, and that build was really early on in the project.
Gotcha. What I appreciate about the Overwatch is, like, once again, like, you guys didn't just take Overwatch from everything. Like, you made it your own. You gave it the cones. And what I like is, I was talking to Cognito, and I was like, man, it's like sometimes when I'll be Overwatch and I have like these assault rifles, I rarely go to the end of the Overwatch, because I noticed that if you go to the end, you're gonna miss every shot. So like, I'll bait them in the corners, and I'll put it like literally 2 feet in front of me.
But the thing that's unique about it, that I want to give you credit, Giuseppe, is not only the way you as a player use it, it's the way the enemy uses it, because the enemy sometimes can have you dead to rights. But what they'll do is they'll box you in 3 or 4, and they'll have Overwatch cards. So like, hey, if you move over there, you're getting shot. If you move over there, you get shot. Like, the enemy is very aggressive with trapping, I feel. Like, that aspect of the AI is pretty brutal and amazing. And like, I just want to talk about that process of not only, again, the enemy is so many enemies, right? So more of them, but just this aggressive overwatching, like, with that. Like, could you explain a little bit of that thought process?
So yeah, our AI team was pretty great in this project, and there will be I think it's called Epic Fest. Soon there will be a presentation on the AI system by our lead AI programmer. That will go into details, like on how the enemy, because another thing is that the enemies also move all at the same time as well. So we have this many enemies on screen because we can have all these combo moves that they do, where they group.
They be getting on my nerves, man. Like, they really do. I'll be getting so tight because, like, they'll come out of those little emergency holes, and then the first thing they do is go over to my people and be like, Overwatch them. I'm like, so they can't move. And the funny thing is, like, they'll Overwatch them, and then I'll use like an assault with an invis to get around it, and then the moment I do that, they just start shooting everyone else, and I'm just like, wow,
Giuseppe,
this is the most aggressive AI I've ever seen in this type of game.
I have a question.
It feels aggressive, but it's to be honest, there are some rules that are so for example, they if they DBNO you, they cannot kill you in the same turn. Like,
that's interesting.
Or for example, when they,
I have noticed when they do Overwatch, they don't shoot you. Like,
yes, they do that. Or another thing is that when they if they just appeared, so if they just dropped from the sky or from hill or something, they are not going to shoot you directly. They're going to just position themselves.
Which that makes sense.
Yeah, because that would be completely unfair.
Giuseppe, I have a question. Is this aggressive AI from the AI team a direct challenge or a direct result of the great game testers you guys had there? Because I'm pretty sure, like, if y'all had a board and it got past it, the AI team was like, okay, you know what, ramp it up a little bit more so we could teach them not to pass.
Like, they clearly got past this part right here, this middle part. Yeah, I want a sniper here, not a sniper here. We don't want them passing that middle part. Like,
Is it? Did you have great game testers or the animation team, whoever was on the offensive side? Because I call the AI the defense, right? So whoever was on the offensive side, did you have great players there that formed a fantastic defensive AI team that had to sit there and get mechanics to see what they did to break down the game to make sure, because I think this Tactics is probably one of the tightest tactical type of games that I've seen play or has played. So
the whole QA department in video games, they are like the unsung heroes in a way of game development, really,
right.
because it's a grilling work. It's sometimes like testing games. It's it's not as fun as you can think like, oh, okay, I'm just playing the game, but it really involves like testing and knowing really the game inside out at that point, and really going and besides that, there is also obviously you have to the game is in development. It changes a lot, and there are bugs. Obviously, there are like hundreds and hundreds of like bugs and stuff that breaks every time, and so that's normal, like game development. But inside that, not only you have to find bugs and the repro bugs and so on, but you also have to play the game at that level. And by the end of production, we have some testers that were speed running the game, and there was people even in my team that were like completely they knew everything. They knew like all the builds and how to min max a certain class, or all that kind of stuff inside out. Even stuff that the designers were like, oh, you can actually do
it. You know how I knew that you guys did it? I was doing one of the first missions is when the first boomer showed up with the what's that gun called? The boom stick. Boom shot. Yeah, the boom shot. And I remember killing him. I killed him with a shotgunner, and I remember going up there, and it's like, oh, you could pick this up? Yes. And I remember the animation to him hitting it. It's the exact same one from Gears. And I was like, yo, they did. They did. And not to mention, I hate those things. I can't. Every time they came up, I remember there was a boss fight I was on. You guys kept throwing one of those at me every turn, and I was like, they know I hate these things. I really could not stand them. Like,
it's funny that you mentioned the boss fight. So, in talking about the aggressiveness of the characters, the boss fights were hair pulling inducing sometimes. Like, so how did you guys come up with balancing those fights in the game as opposed to regular campaign sort of engagements?
So to be honest, the boss fights were one of the few aspects of the game that I rarely touched. I worked a lot on the mission gameplay, and I did the character customization. I did lots of the stuff involving the abilities and the characters themselves. The boss fights were we had like a few people fully focused on designing the boss fight and to make it as cool as possible.
Gotcha.
And that last boss fight was rough, man.
Yeah, the boss fights are amazing.
I was sweating. I beat him on my second try, but it was like one of those things where it's like, if he doesn't die this turn, I'm gonna have to do it again. Like
it is it's truly, man. And I want to just get to it, because my whole thing is, again, for people who have not played tactics yet, there's a lot of guys in the realm that they're console guys, and on PC we've got a chance to experience this, but it's like, okay, not only is the production value, people don't understand, like the production value you guys are using for the cinemas in between the game, outstanding. The gameplay is frenetic, it's fast, and it's overwhelming. You got that aspect. Like Sav said, the boss fights, in my opinion, are by far the best boss fights I've ever seen in any tactics type of game. So, like, for me, I guess my question to you, what is the part of Gears Tactics that you're most proud of? Like, that you are most proud of either working on or dealing with?
For me, I have two, actually. One of is the the one I'm most proud of is the combat. Really, it's the moment-to-moment combat. You have the sheer amount of abilities that you can use, and how fluid everything feels. So, like, moving your units, shooting, and using all these abilities. That was something I really cared about. having keeping everything like this kind of level of polish and fluidity that really, because as you said, the production values is on part of mainline Gears game.
Big time. What was that? Unreal Engine 4, bro? The cinemas, bro.
Yeah, it's the same engine as the Gears 5.
Woo! So fantastic. Continue.
And then obviously, there is a lot of at stake there. With the coalition is like they were doing the Gears 5, and they expect the Gears quality from us as well. So and so having the kind of sometimes in this kind of games you can close an eye, and if your units are like glitching a little bit, and when a turn ends and the camera like stutters a little bit, in this kind of games it's something that happens often. In GearsTactics it was like something that we couldn't tolerate. It was something that everything had to be at that level of polish.
Oh yeah, it is.
So, and that was really hard, even because the game is also, it's not grid based as well.
Right.
That we did early on.
You just go as many times as you can till you can't go till you run out of those action points.
Right.
Which most of those games you can only move and shoot. On that game, like it's encouraged. Like the way you put that, you didn't want to go with that direction because you wanted to outnumber us. And you can't outnumber us without letting us shoot 4 times in a row.
Facts. Otherwise, it'd be completely unfair. Shout out to Squirrely Dan with the Canadian 2000, but July 23rd is soon. Shout out to Lady Era Cuts for the win. She's a huge Tactics fan, Giuseppe. She said, huge Gears fan here and love Tactics. Great job. Hope we could get more games in the future. Gears in this genre just makes sense.
You know what's funny? She told me after she played that she beat the game first off, which a lot of people didn't. And she told me that when she played Gears 5, she saw the battlefield different because of how she played Gears Tactics, and she said it made her a better player in Gears 5.
Now, Giuseppe, it's funny you said, because it's funny Addict said it too, because like it's well received. It's obviously our console guys, they can't wait to get a hold of it. But my question is, like, how did it feel when we call him Phil Dominus Spencer, put
Phil Dominus Maximus.
Excuse me. Yes, sir. Correction. Phil Dominus Maximus, soon to possibly be Aurelius.
No, it's not possibly. Soon to be Aurelius. Let's keep the respect on his name.
Just let King say it. Let King say it. Don't say it.
Xbox's only begotten son.
Thank you.
We're huge fans of Phil here, obviously, in a row. But my question to you is, I'm a huge fan of this genre. We're all huge fans of this genre, right? How did it feel to get Phil Spencer to tweet, I just finished Gear Tactics, salute the SplashDamage, salute the you guys. Like, how does that kudos feel as a studio when the boss is playing your game and tweeting it and saying that you guys did a phenomenal job?
And it was good, man, because he don't jump off Destiny for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. He played Destiny, so let's talk about it. How did it feel? What was the studio energy like, Giuseppe?
It was amazing. It was really like it's one of those things that especially I know a few people in the studio are like huge Xbox fans, and they probably have printed that and put that. I'm pretty sure. It was really incredible, even because it's the kind of things where you don't even. It's the kind of things that you don't even imagine when you start like doing a game like this. That one day, the head of Xbox is going to. Yeah, I mean, besides obviously the marketing for the game, but but that's actually like personal. He didn't have to to actually play the game. And
exactly. Let's be real, yeah.
I know that Phil Spencer is a big gamer. He really knows his stuff, and that's in a way it was a surprise, but it was also not a surprise that he cares that much that he actually plays
Thank
the
you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
GearsTactics isn't an easy game. It's definitely one of the harder games in the platform.
Yes,
in the genre.
So for Phil to be finishing that, salute to Phil with his gaming.
For anyone to really finish that, that genre like that.
Listen, I ain't ashamed to say I had to redo and respect my characters towards the end because
I did too.
That boss is
like,
handling me.
It was one of those things where the first time he beat me, it was so extra. I was like, what am I gonna do? Right. Like, I had to sit there. I was like, all right. I didn't respect anyone the whole game. And I was like, I'm about to respect every single person here. And I went in there, it's like I barely beat him. Like my sniper, because I was doing like half his health every turn with that sniper. And then that last time, I used every ability. I used Nate to put more points on everyone. I was like, I'm killing him this turn because he's killing me next turn.
Now, Lord Giuseppe, I have to ask a question. It's not going to be nice, but I have to ask it. My question is, all right, the game is phenomenal. We love this game. However, there's one aspect of this game that I hope that you're not responsible because I want to strangle this person who thought of this, which is side missions. Now, granted, when they first appeared on the screen, I said, okay, I did a couple of missions. All right, this is cool. Something different, whether it be, free the prisoners or control points and stuff like that. And as the game went on, these missions started to appear more frequently. Then they weren't side missions anymore. They were mandatory missions that if I don't complete them, I cannot advance the story. Lord Giuseppe, whose idea was this? With the side missions of GearsTactics.
Raise his hand.
Who's responsible?
You could be vague. Like, we ain't asking for names.
You're still, if it was you, Giuseppe, you're still invited back. But I have to know.
So, there is one thing in this kind of game. I'm a big fan of the genre. So I started playing this kind of games with UFO, the original XCOM.
Oh,
yes.
I even have a signed copy from Julian Golub.
Wow.
And I played like almost every game in this genre really during these years. And one big thing that I really like in this genre is that this kind of the subtly, that one thing is this kind of having this kind of strategy layer, and then you have your actual campaign missions and that kind of stuff. In Gears, this having this complex strategy layer really adds to the overall complexity of the game and difficulty. And I think in GearsTactics they just wanted something that was a little bit more streamlined.
Okay.
So that was more story driven.
Right.
It definitely was a very narrative focused game.
I love the narrative. I love that.
It's just hard. It's hard to when you're doing this and you're balancing the game. It's hard to nail like the perfect spot where you don't overdo.
Gotcha.
Like with the content, with the side missions, and you still keep the or you have a game that is too short, for example.
Okay.
I feel like,
especially because at the end of the game, the thing is also it's when the game offers you have at that point in Act 3 you have all these abilities, you have your units, you have like everyone there. So that's where the game actually it's the most fun in a way, because you can use all the abilities, you have all this stuff unlocked.
Absolutely.
So but obviously it's just difficult to nail down the perfect length of the.
I feel you. So basically, it became a length issue. Good. I got another question with him.
Yeah, I think that people, a lot of reviewers and stuff, because I read a couple reviews, is just like that it was mandatory. But I know why you guys did it. You guys did it because those bosses would be overwhelming if you didn't, get them to play more content, to get more levels, to fight the boss. Right. I think that, if you would have gave them the option to skip it and get destroyed, they would have went back and did it anyway. Right. So, but you obviously when you're thinking of a blank plate, because the game isn't made at this point, you have to you don't see it till after it's done. Right. And I do understand where people were coming from that, because it was bothering me a little bit, but the gameplay was so good that I was looking past it because I wanted to play the game. But when I got to that last chapter, I was like, yo, because you guys, not only were you having us do the side missions, you were putting a handicap on us at that last.
Some of them were
like
brutal.
It was like we're gonna send 2 people in there, man.
Yeah, that one with the snipers. You can only take 2 people. You have to take like all right. This is the thing, Giuseppe. Like, I love the aspect where, because let's be real, you start, like you said, you start getting overpowered. You start getting the abilities. You can start handling the battlefield, right?
Easy. And then you guys knew that. So you said, okay, you know what? This last chapter, we know they can handle the situation. Let's make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was like, but the part I did like is it forced me to take other characters, because they'd be like, yo, for this mission you got to use Gabe, or this mission you can't use this one, and like it made you use specific things, and I was cool because I had my other units built up. I had an artillery guy. He was built up. I had like a lot of suppression and all that. So I was good. The only thing that was kind of brutal, they'd be like, you could only use 2 people. You got to evacuate them 10 turns. Good luck.
I would literally, there were certain scenarios where I could only get like all my men but one. It would be like the random dude that was really good, but he wasn't a named character. And I'm like, that's good.
I'll be like, oh, well, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Because I ain't doing this mission.
It's out, man. He's done. He's over. He's dead. I'm not coming back for him.
Exactly. So what did you feel about that aspect of the game design?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I were to do another tactics games, I would like to focus on having a more implementing this kind of strategy layer, that even if you have this kind of repetition in this kind of games, your main campaign even in XCOM is sometimes it's like
it's the gameplay that carries the whole game.
10-20. Yeah, exactly.
I think
it's exactly that. So you just have to find a way so that the repetition of the missions don't really weight on the players too much, because they can actually choose, okay, I don't want to do like a rescue mission, maybe I want to do like this.
Not always want to do those rescue missions. Those people, and they were beast. Every single time I rescued one of them, I was like, I'm using him. I think the reason XCOM doesn't have that issue is because they base building. So when you do a mission, you feel like you have another like reason to do the mission. I feel like you guys put all the pressure on like the characters themselves. Like you want to build the ultimate character, and once the characters are built, it's like now it's just like you're spending the last chapter with ultimate characters, just trying to survive at this point. So I do think that was one of the reasons that because this is this is one of the few games that I've seen like this that was built around a narrative. So that really helped it.
Good, Giuseppe.
Yeah, you have other games like this, but they are more. I mean, there's another one I played that it's called Mutant Year Zero. That's very story.
I beat that.
But it's also I mean, I love that game, but
it's brutal.
It's focused more on like you have these fixed characters. You don't have that many like you.
Yeah,
there's almost no character.
Yeah, exactly. It's just this and
they focus that game around abilities.
Yeah.
That game is absolutely brutal because of the permadeath. That game had me so frustrated. Like if I lost the duck guy,
I was the exact opposite. I was like, the only one that's not expendable is the duck guy. I was like, I don't care about this dude. Like, he was good with his mutant level, but I was like, if he dies, so be it.
Listen,
no, I got really pissed off. I reset that game. I haven't finished that game yet, so full disclosure, I reset it 1,000 times because they keep killing them for me.
Listen,
I get really pissed off.
I felt with Gabe, man. Salute to Gabe. Like, I feel he's the hot new protagonist, even though.
Yeah, I do think that you guys. It's like this is me. This isn't everyone's opinion. How does it feel to make a better protagonist than the current protagonist?
Listen, we gotta bring Gabe Diaz back for GearsTactics too, man. You got come on now, Giuseppe. Talk to who you got to talk to.
He was definitely a good character. Right? He was definitely a good character.
Yeah, man. How you feel about Gabe? How the studio feeling about Gabe moving forward?
I won't be telling you anything.
You don't gotta answer that, man.
I'm trying to set you up. I'm trying to trip you up, Giuseppe. You got to fall for this.
No. There's an interesting thing I can say about Gabe that indirectly I think I named him in a way.
Wow.
So I mean, they were doing our creative director back then was doing a big list of names and see like, oh, you can propose some names for the main characters and everyone else. So everyone was adding names and I added Gabriel in the list as well. So they picked that one. So yeah.
Confirmed, directly responsible for Gabe as the best protagonist in Gears currently right now. Salute.
Yeah, he's definitely.
But
Like,
that's the only thing I can say about
he reminds me of like the old regime of Gears. Like
Beast, man. Great story.
But I love the work that the team did on the characters.
Yes.
I worked with the character art team.
Oh.
There's this great art book that they did as well that contains a lot of information and the concept art.
Oh.
And yeah, I was daily, like, I was really amazed at the quality that our artists just
phenomenal.
And also the fact that the characters are fully customizable.
Yes,
because
because I would put like silly designs. I would have like American flags with dots and weird colors and give people purple outfits, and then you see them in the cinemas. It was funny. I would just go full customization. It was a lot.
And that was a lot of work as well, because obviously you have to think that even the cinematics, this shot doesn't work because there is now a big shoulder pad that someone can equip and all this. So there was a lot of work, and there was this mad attention of detail there that the entire team was really focused on. Okay, we have to see this cinematic with this specific armor on, and if that works, and they were bugging oh, this is clipping with this other thing, and then we need to disable this during the cinematic, and all that kind of crazy level of the detail and care.
I definitely like that chick from GearsTactics, the extra one, the one with the sniper. She didn't think, she just did.
So we ain't gonna spoil.
That one time things go. I'm not really spoiling anything.
Come on now, I'm about to spoil the story for the console dude.
Spoil anything. I was saying that one time where stuff was going down, and she's like, "Nah," then you just bam.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So look, real quick, last question before we move on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but there's a big thing going on right now in the industry, Giuseppe. And I got to ask you, because you are the lord of coding and programming. You worked on games before, so I got to ask this because Phil Spencer was in the news recently, and he made some comments, and a lot of it came down to game design and consoles. People saying that they may be held back, you know what I'm saying, because of, work, I guess, with the Series X situation, that obviously they're still going to be supporting the base consoles, you know what I'm saying? So being that you've developed before and you've worked on multiple platforms before, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to work on the new hardware exclusively? What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel that gaming has changed, as far as scalability? Like, what's your whole thought process? Because this is like a hot debate right now in the gaming community. So I'm just curious to see what side you fall on here.
I to be honest, I don't get this. It's something that always comes up, and it's like this kind of let's call them cross-gen games.
Yes,
they have always been a thing. It's not like the first time that we have this kind of situation. It's actually easier now because now the hardware is so close that you can actually now you can create a game for PS4 or Xbox, and you can just make it run on the next gen console in a way that it's way easier compared to, for example, a PlayStation 2 game and a PS3 game. So, but these cross-gen games have always been a thing. So if I remember, even GTA 5, for example, or GTA 4 as well. I think was another game like that. Or I remember like the million times they ported Skyrim from one console to the other, and that kind of stuff. And it's just something that happens because when you these games take years to make. So when you are releasing a new console, you have to think that most of the studios are not working directly in a game that it's not going to be an exclusive for that console because they started development like 3-4 years ago, where that console was not even the hardware was not even locked down. So obviously they just start doing start working on the previous generation console, and that console still has a big user base, so there is no real reason of
to abandon
doing
them.
an exclusive title.
But let me ask you, did you think it's more so because of the inclusion of console gaming now being more closer to PC, so that there's PC ports, so that's the reason why the scalability is such? Because I am going to push back on one question, because a lot of things that we are hearing is that, as far as the limits to game design, because you still have to worry about the lowest common denominator, which is the less powerful system. So like what are your thoughts on that? Do you feel that game design will be held back because we still have to cater to these older consoles, or you just feel differently that game design is different now? Like where do you stand on that specific?
So, to be honest, I'm sure that we will see some very interesting stuff that will only be possible in the new consoles, for sure. But that's not. I don't think that's that's tied to. It's something gradual. Mostly, it's something that at the start of the generation, even if you have like titles that are only running on that console, you don't have you still don't know what are what are the possibilities of that hardware, but there is always someone raising the bar with something, and then there's another studio kind of taking that technology and improving on that, and same is for game design as well. Game design specifically, I think it's even less tied to the hardware than it's the actual like rendering technology or stuff. I mean, you really like the hardware that we have right now it's so powerful anyway that you can do almost anything you can think of in a way or another. Obviously, you have to.
Interesting.
There are specific limits, but it's you can still do a lot. So, what is, in my opinion, what is holding back games is more, the stuff that is completely outside of the hardware race. It could be just, market trends and this kind of stuff. So where, now the production of the AAA games are like the cost involved is so big that the publisher, obviously they have to risk less. So you always have this, sequel after sequel after sequel of a game or this kind of stuff. So I think that's really what holds back in innovation more than actually, the actual hardware limit or something.
I would actually have to agree with you on that. Like, I've been told by a couple people that when devs start process, sometimes stuff is pushed on it because it's hot right now, and then when the 3 years is up, that's not hot anymore. And so it's hard to really innovate and make new types of gaming experiences when you clout chase and the stuff that it's like, for instance, like Battle Royale. Everyone tried to make a Battle Royale game for years. Till this day, people are still trying to do it.
So you feel, just to clarify what you're saying, you feel a lot of design is kind of held back by market trends, you were saying, as far as like I just want to nail down that one portion of what you said.
Well, it's not held back. I wouldn't really use that term. It's at least like informed by
Right,
market
yeah.
trends, right?
Okay.
And it's a kind of a loop as well, because if something is successful, then other will try to like dive into that market, and this is it's kind of becomes its own thing, like battle royales, for example. Oh yeah, it started one way, but now they are so successful that everyone is doing them in a way, or adding that kind of components into their games.
Right.
And then we need something else that breaks this kind of loop. We need another game that kind of changes things.
Giuseppe, I think it's more or less, the question is because people feel that the older generations hold back the power or whatever they perceive it can be, right? And being that you're a programmer, being that you have to program for the lowest common denominator, and the highest common denominator always being PC, because PCs come out with graphic cards every year that is $800 and above, maybe. And you know, and some silicon graphic workstations that you have to gear yourself to work on in your environments, because I'm pretty sure the environments that you do use are at least 2 times more powerful than the dev kits. I mean, the dev kits that you do use are 2 times more powerful than actual consumer units, because you have to have that environment to move around and that flexibility to see what works and what doesn't. What I'm talking about is like when you guys spec to like the lowest NPC, you know, what is acceptable for the lowest NPC, and then you also have maximum tools like tensillation and all that stuff pushed all the way to the limit to see if the game can run in that form. So the notion that it's being held back by hardware, you guys scale at all times. Is that true?
Sure, but that's true for a PC as well. Even if you make a game that's just a PC only, you have to do that kind of thing as well. You have to run on like if you see on Steam the average PC configuration of like a gamer on Steam, it's not that powerful actually.
Right.
It's not like top end kind of thing. So
it's like a 1060 now or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's fairly low. So you still have to do that kind of reasoning anyway.
Right.
Now it's just easier to do on consoles as well, because you now have this spark of machines where you can go from 4K 60 FPS to down to something that is like more, that resembles more like low mid spec on PC.
Gotcha.
Right.
So it's really it's kind of the same.
Right. And just
so I don't see this being like a really like an issue. And I'm more surprised that people think that way. I can see their reasoning. I can see where they come from. Definitely, it's. But yeah, to be honest, maybe we will see some like titles that, for example, use the SSD in a very clever way, and it's something that it's only doable in a like with specific tricks and stuff. And but probably that is going to be my guess is that it's going to be either a specific small first party game maybe, or a specific technology that that then everyone starts using, or sometimes innovation comes from indie games as well. So that there could be like a specific studio like doing something really tailored to
very innovative, and then maybe then something catches on, kind of deal.
They start a trend.
When it comes,
come from there anyway, right? Because the thing is, those are the ones that can take the risk. Like what Giuseppe was saying is like, there's no way a AAA developer is going to take it. It's very hard to separate the financial conversation from the design conversation. They're not mutually exclusive. They have to go hand in hand.
Right.
Except when you're talking about maybe at the indie level, right? It's funny because it made me think about, I keep talking about the Outer Wilds, and King is like, I'm not playing that disgusting looking game. But at the end of the day, that game does design things with gameplay that you just haven't seen in other games, right? Now, never in a million years are you going to see the new Assassin's Creed do that. It just won't do it. They were.
I mean, up until Minecraft was made, no one really was talking about, creative building games like that until that game came out. And when that game came out, it was so dominant that the big AAA titles like, yo, we need a piece of this pie.
That's what Giuseppe's alluding to, because it's like there is financial risk involved. And let's be honest, companies want to make money, right? They want to.
Well, you have board members that invest their money into your company, and these board members need to be satiated. So you're trying to balance creativity and forward thinking, and also securing your company. Let's be real. SplashDamage has to build a name for themselves, so it has to be innovative, but at the same time, it has to be profitable. Right, so you have to. It's two crowds that you're trying to please. You're trying to please the fans, us, right, and you're trying to please the board members, them, right?
Because they're the ones that's going to prove the money coming down the line to do it again.
Exactly, because you have to show what your product is. When you go to a board meeting, I'm pretty sure like every 3 to 4 months, you go into the board meeting and they say, "Well, let me see your latest build." Right. And how is that latest build when you're doing Q&A sessions? How is that latest build from the last build that you did? Because when you're asking for more money for investors, investors have to see the product being produced, and they have to understand that when the product testing is going up, they see the trend going forward. So, positivity, it went up 10%. Okay, so we are willing to invest 20 more million, go forward, continue doing what you're doing, type of thing. Opposed to when you go back to the Q&A session and you're going back to the board and it went down 5%, and they want to know why it went down 5%. Trust me, I totally get it, and I totally understand.
So to your point,
I just think
let him answer, because he definitely had that part.
Yeah, he had that part. Yeah, Giuseppe.
And the AAA industry innovates a lot as well, but it's I think it's more of it's all about the technology. It's about like finding new cool stuff, but it's more driven by the technology itself. Well, in indie games, they have to stand out, right? Indie games have to stand out for something, so they can obviously take more risks as well. So for them, it's a win-win if you do something unique, because you have to stand out from the crowd.
Right. So basically, to double down on what you said, and as far as it's kind of in line with what Phil Dominus Maximus Spencer, which is, he basically said, look, every developer is going to find a line and say that this is the hardware that they're going to support. But he said, but the diversity of hardware choice in PC has not held back the highest fidelity PC games on the market. He said the highest fidelity PC games rival anything that anybody has seen and ever seen in video games. He said, so the idea that developers don't know how to build games or game engines or ecosystems that work across a set of hardware, there's a proof and point, and PC shows that it's not the case. So that's kind of the line of thinking, I would say, similar to what you would say. Would you say that, Giuseppe?
And not only that, it's developers now are really experienced on like actually doing this. Back in the days of the PlayStation 2 and PS1 and so on, it was every time the hardware changed, and there were even fewer engines, like a real engine that were so widespread and used, that supported like all these different platforms as well. So now for a developer, it's also it's just way easier for us to support like console and PC, and even because the industry has also set into this kind of a more standardized like way of working. So in a way, consoles are a little bit like PC.
Like PC, it's basically the lines have been blurred.
I think that the only people really saying this, and it's not necessarily people are just hyped for new experiences, and I think the only real people that state against this, they don't really have any knowledge. They just have what past experiences at. They go to the Rises, they go to the kill zones, and gens after gen, and they see, look, this is how things are. But it's like you said earlier, it's like things aren't the same as they were back then. Technology's evolved, and and engines like the Unreal engines made it easier to scale everything. So it's more of people aren't knowledgeable. It's like, I'm not a dev. I'm not knowledgeable either. It's just more people are not knowledgeable of how these processes are, so that's why they only go off their experiences. Right. They don't go off what actually is in realm of reality.
Right. And to the last question, Giuseppe, like, what do you think is the biggest misconception gamers have about game development that we don't know what the hell we're talking about?
Well, I always laugh a little bit of the. It happens often that there are these gamers that are really, maybe they know a lot of like technical terms and stuff like that, and they start into this kind of very heated wars between like obviously often it's like Sony versus Microsoft, yes. Whatever.
My isotropic filtering, my ray tracing is better than yours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they go like for feature by feature, they go like, oh, but Xbox has
we got RDNA 6.
Oh, but the SSD drive and so on, and they go like, it's crazy because it's something that. Not even us developer actually really.
That's what I was about to say. I don't even think a lot of developers know what they really can do with these SSDs yet.
So break it down. What are we idiots on, Giuseppe? Tell us, school us. What don't we know what we're talking about?
I mean, sometimes it's just a classic one is, for example, when we talk about game engines, right? Mm-hmm. And you talk about this game is beautiful. It uses like the Decima engine, or this game has a real engine, whatever. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, it's like these engines can do exactly. They use like very similar rendering techniques. Mm. So they all this stuff like screen space, ambient occlusion, all of this. Yeah. Sometimes they are implemented in different ways, but the rendering techniques that they use are very, very similar. And so sometimes you can swear like someone goes like, oh yeah, I can see this game. you see that real engine game because this bug or oh this character looks this way, and it's like maybe I don't know, maybe they are from the same artist, maybe, or something like that.
But Giuseppe, I could tell the difference between, your face rendered. That's Unreal. That's not Unity. I could tell. I know more than you.
And it's fun because you can really do. I can probably recreate something in a Real and in Unity, and like pixel by pixel, they can probably match like. Perfectly if I really like come into that, and I I write the custom shaders and stuff. I can create the same exact face in Unity and in a Real, and they will look exactly like the same at per pixel level almost.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But but sometimes someone goes like, oh yes, this game has this specific, or sometimes it's not even related to the graphics itself. It's like it could be like even a gameplay mechanics, and they could be like, oh yeah, they are using a Real, so the weapons feel like this one.
Look at that superior gunplay, Unreal. Come find out it's Unity. Fair enough, man. Look, we can talk to you for hours, brother. This is great stuff. Absolutely love these tech deep dives. We got to move on. I got to ask you the question that we ask every round before we wrap up with them, as far as I need Lord Giuseppe's top 5 video game or franchises of all time. Any order, any generation.
Okay, so, well, my favorite game is, as I said before, it's probably Another World.
We brothers, bro. We're here. We're brothers. Let's go.
That was just, that game is just, it's obviously nostalgia as well, but. That's on top.
Max,
and then probably I'm a huge FPS fan as well. Yes. So the first Quake is.
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you, being that you were developing and doing stuff in PC, because the lines were fairly drawn very early on with us. So we were either Doom or Quake. So my question to you was gonna be Quake or Doom, and because I'm a Quake head, right? So. So that was gonna be my question to you. Quake or Doom.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I love both of them. I'm probably more of in the Quake generation of gamers, even because it's the first game I played in multiplayer in LAN with
wow.
back then. So I remember like racking up this giant telephone bill.
Shout out to nobody being able to use the phone while Giuseppe is playing.
By connecting like modem to modem with another.
Yes.
With a friend of mine that was in another city, so it was like even like the telephone bill
was a much expensive, more international. Salute.
So yeah, that was it for me. Like the first Quake and then the Half-Life franchise as well.
Oh yes, yeah, love Half-Life. Did you get a chance to play it in VR?
Oh yes, I actually like. As soon as they announced it, I pre-ordered like the
Half-Life Alex.
We had a big debate on that because we were saying like, does VR need that AAA that bring them in, right? And for you, it was absolutely no question. Boom. As soon as it happened, like right now, I haven't played it in VR yet, and I definitely want to get it because Sovereign was, like praising it, and everybody I hear praises it. And I just saw the new VR Gen 2 was just released, so I'm highly looking into that because it's like $600, and I'm trying to get into that. But yeah, so all right, yeah, I saw your face light up. Yeah,
it works really well on even on Oculus Quest and the other. Probably the Oculus Quest right now. It's probably the best VR device out there because you can use it on your own. It's a standalone like thing, so you can play a Beat Saber or something like that. But you can also hook it up to your PC and you can play stuff like Half-Life Alyx. So probably that one right now for the price point and the quality of the
unit,
it's probably the best choice, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So we got Another World, we got Quake, and what was it? What was it?
Half-Life,
right?
Yes.
So we need two more.
Oh, of course, and then I have to go for in the tactics genre. So it's definitely the original XCOM series. So,
oh, okay, yeah.
Golub is a hero of mine. So
nice.
Yeah, so the UFO series.
XCOM UFO Defense. Which one? Just the series is in general.
I mean. For me, actually, the one I played the most is probably the second one, Terror from the Deep.
Terror from the Deep. Wow.
Okay.
Remember that was salute. That's what's up, man. Huge franchise. Absolutely. And one last one to round out the 5, man.
Let's see. One last. Then I'll go into the Mega Drive and let's see. Yeah, Gunstar Heroes from.
Yo!
Yes.
Treasure.
That's a classic. Treasure. 2-player shooter. Oh man!
You can throw your partner across the screen. Like you could do that game was so much fun.
What I loved about Gunstar Heroes and Treasure single-handedly kept the Genesis super relevant when the Nintendo Onslaught was in its swing, because the Nintendo Onslaught was in full effect. The Super Nintendo, I never forget it, and Gunstar Heroes made me go back to that game. That Dynamite Heady, a lot of those games for them.
Guardian Heroes, Sega Saturn.
Yes,
bro, that's a classic. Lord Giuseppe, Gunstar Hero, man. Salute, brother. And the last one, console, only one, any generation, favorite console of all time.
That's tough. That's tough. Because I would say obviously the Mega Drive, like straight away, because it's especially like the Japanese titles. It's just the output that there the difference in genres and stuff. It's it was crazy.
What you going with?
Yeah, either I say either that or I'm also big into retro computing as well. So I collect like all these micros, especially living here in UK. This the Britsoft was really amazing.
Yeah.
So you have the Spectrum, the all the BBC micro and so on.
Yeah.
And one that is really like dear to my heart as well is the Commodore 64.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right, now I got to make you gun to your head now. Tough choice. That Commodore 64, that Mega Drive.
Probably the Mega Drive.
Oh, my man! Salute! Salute! Woo! Fantastic, brother, man.
It's more like it's an actual console, so Commodore 64, I see that as it's a computer, so it will be cheating to say Commodore 64 as well.
No, dude, salute, fantastic game history. Oh man, just tremendous stuff. Now, I know we tend to run long. We still have 2 titles, but if you have to go, it's okay. But you just let us know. I'm not kicking you out though. I
sadly have to go.
Yeah,
but it was a real pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Lord Giuseppe, Splash Damage, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm. Talk retro, talk coding, talk Gears Tactics, talk how you gonna talk about the sequel, get rid of the side missions. No, and you gave us the release date for the Series X version. You gave us all the information.
Now someone's gonna snip that one part.
I know, right? They're like, what did you talk about?
Like, what? He said what?
They're gonna look at the whole interview and say he didn't say anything like that.
Lord Giuseppe, man, an absolute pleasure, man. Hopefully, Splash Damage has some more announcements coming up soon. Where can people find you? What do you have going on, sir?
Well, I'm really active on Twitter, so that's my go-to social media these days.
What's the Twitter handle? Let them know. Let the people know.
Yeah, Bad Coffee.
Yes.
So you can add that to the description, I guess, on YouTube or something.
Salute.
But yeah, if you just search my name on Twitter, you will find me.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for taking some time. You're always welcome back in the realm, and we like to see, like I said, the advancement of the studio. We love what you guys are doing, and looking forward to hearing more from you for the future, brother.
Definitely want you back when the Series X one dropped.
Yes, I would love to have you back. If especially if you had a role in it too, because console guys, man, they don't know what they're missing. Gears Tactics is absolutely amazing. The story, the production values, it's truly a genre, a game that translated well to the genre, and we can't wait. I can't wait for my brothers to get a hold of that game. So you're always welcome back if we get that eventual announcement of the Series X version. Have a good one, bro. Later, Giuseppe. No doubt. So we're gonna go on with the show. Let's get this. Actually, we got last week's poll results are in, and the people have spoken to the question. With the recent rumors of titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and now The Medium, all allegedly running at 30 frames per second, will this prevent you from purchasing said titles? The winner of the 3-way ILP poll at 60% of the vote is yes. Unacceptable to not include a 60 frames per second performance mode. Coming in at second at 33% was no. A great game can still be 30 frames. And coming in last place at only 6% of the vote was I don't care. The PC Master Race throws 30 frames per second. Film it gaming in the bushes. Salute to all the lords who participated. Lord Sovereign, what do you feel about this 60 frames performance mode, sir?
I agree. Just buy them on PC because for PlayStation you'll be able to get them on the EpicGames store soon. Yeah.
Sounds like shots. Sounds like shots, man. So bang. Let's get this going, man. Obviously, some news going in. Look like a combo topic from both you and King in reference to the dealings of Sony. So a lot of stuff going on. Whoever wants to set it up, I don't know if Sav, you want to attack the streaming angle, or if King wants to attack the Epic deal that was made. There was a big deal with EpicGames.
It wasn't a big deal. Listen, all right, let's go to this.
I'm right there with you.
Let's go.
This is such a big deal.
On the surface, it's not a big deal because it's not a super amount of money.
Even in the back end, it's not a big deal.
The whole thing is not
They
a
literally
big deal.
invested like 1.5%
On the
of
back
the
end,
stock.
on the
There's no
back
back
end,
end.
you guys are not paying attention.
You're not paying attention. You're trying to make
Boogeyman in the
something
you're
that
not, I don't care about Epic. I don't care about Sony.
Let's get it.
You're not paying attention to the boogeyman in the room. And I didn't get to ask this question.
Boogeyman.
Why don't you tell me who the boogeyman is, man? Why don't you tell me?
Boogeyman is 10 Cent.
Ooh.
10 Cent
Okay.
got his hands in everything.
And
You
only
not
gonna lose
understand.
their money. That's
No,
it.
it doesn't matter. Yo,
Guess so.
go 10 Cent. The fact that 10 Cent has their hand in everything right now. So first of all, they in everything.
Yeah.
The hand that they have in Epic, right?
40%.
Right.
Not no 1.2%.
I feel you. But what matters there? What matters there is the relationship. That 1.2% got them Tim Sweeney salivating over the PS5.
Well, I mean, you obviously for $250 million, that's a pretty good bribe. So you know, like
that's a drop in the bucket to Tim Sweeney.
Oh,
So,
boy.
when
No,
I-
it ain't. Money is money. When you at a certain level, money is money.
No. You just finished saying 250 is nothing. You just
Well, no. I told you the deal isn't as big as people are trying to make it out to be. And you're trying to tell me that Sony put up $250 million just to talk.
Hold on, y'all. Let's all get off.
The relationship that it creates matters more than the money. Forget about the money, right?
but they
relationship
had that
with who?
relationship.
No,
The
not on
relationship with who?
paper. Not on paper.
Okay.
Wait,
okay.
Not on
so
paper.
you
And
mean
that's one thing, right? That's one thing, right?
you
We
mean
just finished
they
talking last
became a
week.
junior to the senior? They walked in the room. They still sons,
But it
right?
doesn't
So they still
matter.
walk in the room with
But
this
check
guy that got
check this out,
40%.
Now check this out. Check this out,
We
right?
gonna kick it out and get their balls off.
With their 1 something percent, right? We just finished talking about last week how AAA gaming, right? AAA gaming, the way Sony considers it, that their bag is becoming unsustainable. Now they put themselves in a position. I don't care how much it is. They get a cut of everything moving forward. I don't care how small it is. Yo, do you understand that Fortnite made $400 million alone in April? In April, a month that this year the world was burning in April. Like they made $400 million. It does not to Sony. Sony needs to figure out a way to move forward with their narrative while still being able to make money that makes sense, like you said, to appease their stockholders.
Yes.
Right.
How do you do that?
You want my opinion?
Wait, hold on. Let me frame it, and I'm gonna give it to y'all. I mean, I just gotta frame what's up. So basically, it says, under the deal, the investment enables Sony and Epic to broaden their collaboration with Sony's portfolio of entertainment assets and technology, and Epic's social entertainment platform and digital ecosystem. So then it says Epic confirmed it will still be able to publish to other platforms. As noted, Sony is acquiring 1.4 stake in Epic, which means the deal values Epic at about $17.86 billion. Now, this is the last point I want to shout out VentureBeat. It said the deal is important for Sony because it needs allies in the upcoming console war. Later this year, Sony plans to launch the PS5 in competition with the Series X. But Epic has said that its Unreal Engine 5 and Fortnite will work with all game platforms, as Epic has generally been neutral when it comes to cross-platform tech. If Sony gets any advantage from investing in Epic, it isn't clear yet in this deal. So I just wanted to frame.
Look, all I'm saying is not what Solve's saying. Solve's just talking about he's being the side point person. I'm talking about the people on Twitter. They're acting like because they hold on, let me speak. I let you speak.
Let Addy get his bars off. Addict's not important. Let Addy get his bars off. Come on.
Look, a lot of people are acting like that because they bought this 1.4% of the company, that they're going to start randomly having huge amounts of influence in what they're talking about. 1.4% isn't even let you influence the type of toilet paper
They got
buy.
Jay-Z seat. They got a seat in the arena. That's all
I'm not referring to what Solve's saying. Solve is 100% right in his point. I'm referring to these fanboys on Twitter that are literally acting like, well, first off, none of them cared about Fortnite for years. Now all of a sudden,
Fortnite is
now
relevant.
they can't wait for that Horizon Zero Dawn event.
I don't get that. You want my honest opinion? They bought this stock. They probably took whatever lucrative money they had lying around. They invested in Epic because guess what? Next year they're gonna start launching their stuff in Epic, and they're gonna want that stock in Epic because it's going to make their actual store more appealing to a lot more people, and they're gonna get more money in the long run because they're using their own image to make their image better, and they have their own stock in them to get them more money.
And then you got to remember too that they lost out on Liu because Tencent outbid them.
Right.
Tencent
and Leo literally
outbid
SplashDamage.
everybody.
We had Giuseppe on who works with SplashDamage. SplashDamage is owned by Leo. And Sony had a bid on that, but then they lost to Tencent. So yeah, that is correct.
Tencent has a hand in everything.
Go, King.
Sovereign. No, you're 100% correct. Right. Not taking away from your aspect of how you see it. Right. I believe that the Unreal Engine is definitely in a whole different stratosphere. If anybody's looked at Disney, The Mandalorian, you understand that the Unreal Engine 4 was actually crafting that world that you saw. So if that world to you looked amazing, imagine what the Unreal Engine 5 will do. Now, who owns studios? Sony. Who's lacking in studios? So we would like to have that technology here because we understand that it's a shift in movie making, right? So we put our hand in the bag here. So our hand in the bag is here. Sony, like you said, Jim Dance Moves Ryan is definitely looking at Phil Dominus Maximus, soon to be Aurelius Spencer. I like to call it the Geppetto Pinocchio effect, right? So what happens with Pinocchio, Jim Dance Moves Ryan, he's mimicking what Geppetto says. Geppetto controls the strings.
You saying Geppetto has his hand up his back? Like
now, you must notice. Now, well, Geppetto actually does the marionette stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's pulling the strings.
So he's pulling the strings. So he's
not touching that little puppet. That puppet don't get touched, right? So when you're looking at it on the surface, everybody's like, "Yo, that's a power move." Did you yell out it was a power move when Microsoft brought physics?
Oh, Havoc.
And the Havoc engine. When they actually are in every single video game. You're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. Microsoft get a cut.
Yeah.
They get every time God of War or something sells, Microsoft get a cut. All right, so shout out to Delilah HD. Breaking news. I guess Ubisoft is going on. Watchdog Legion will support smart delivery. Thank you. Fantastic. Ubisoft event. So now that you have to look at it in that aspect, Phil speaking at the Ubisoft. Rodimus, I need confirmation, chat. Phil Dominus is at Ubisoft. Talk to us, chat, because we're doing a show, so we need y'all to inform us. that is kind of big news. Better be true.
They're talking about Hollow right now.
Talking about how. Okay. Continue. Yep, so, Phil just said it. Phil's on stage. Continue. He's talking while he's talking. What you have to understand is Sony must be viable. Going into this next generation, nobody was yelling out when Microsoft made the deal with Facebook. Let's keep the same energy. These companies are in the business to make money, right? So 1.2% to 250 million is a Jay-Z seat in the Nets, right? Everybody's like, "Yo, Jay-Z owned the Nets." No, he didn't. He sat there and had a seat in the arena, and he was not looking at the bosses that was up there, looking down. So Tencent is up there, looking down at Jay-Z sitting down with Sony in the arena. You and Beyonce watch the game. You watch the game. Now, I don't believe that probably next year when Tencent actually tries to purchase Epic, if that actually happens, and then that Sony deal is definitely off the tables, then they get the cut, they get their money. Somebody posted 17.2 billion. Oh, that 250 made 17.2 billion. This is what it's worth. No, listen, you sideshow stockholders.
Who said the 250 million investment turns into 17.2 billion?
I don't want to burn them into the streets. But if you look at my timeline, you'll understand that people take false information and want to go loose with it. Okay, they're worth 17 point something billion. Okay. Now, in that, they have a stake in that, and what happens when they make more money, their shares grow. So whatever shares that they did get from that 250 million, we don't know, right? But do we know how much money they gave Microsoft to use the Azure service?
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Azure.
We don't know this, right? you have to stop picking and choosing who you Lord, what deals you Lord, and what deals you feel is beneficial when the company is trying to survive and trying to move forward in an ever-changing world. This is a great deal for them, right? Epic right now has the #1 engine going forward for this generation. They had it the last generation, and they beat out a lot of other engines. Unless you have a custom engine, you're not even in the same playing field. They're so good that they give it to you for free and say, after you make 1 million, sell 1 million copies, then we come collect. So, I don't know who works like that, but he is definitely so confident in their engines that they can do that. So Sony needed to do this. This is something that definitely works in favor of them. Does that give them Gears Award? Do you think Gears is coming? No. So stop thinking that it's game related as far as you're going to get a game produced solely by Epic, solely for Sony. That's not how the deal works. The deal works is they got a seat at the table. They get some money off of deals that are being made. Stop with the fraud.
Stop with the fraud.
And then the thing is, like, when it comes, it wasn't a PlayStation acquisition. It was a Sony acquisition. So the thing about it is like it's like King said, like when you talk about where Epic wants to go, Epic wants its hand in all kinds of media. Not that's the same with Tencent, right? So it is that thing where it's looking at the bigger picture. Gaming is a part of it, right? And obviously, when you talk about Epic, you immediately think Epic Game Store. You think Tim Sweeney. You think about Unreal Engine. So that is definitely something. And like King said, like they'll get a little piece of that pie, and that's what they need again to sustain their narrative moving forward. You know. They're not going to turn around and say, yeah, you know, guys, you're right. Like AAA development is off the chain. We can't sustain it. They're never going to tell you that, right? They're never going to say that. They're going to figure out ways to bring in more revenue, while continuing to just say, no, this is our path forward. We can do this. So this is just a way of them to continue bringing money in from the sidelines and keep moving forward with what people expect from PlayStation.
I want you to put down in the chat because you're one of the biggest cappers.
Beef in the chat.
I want you to tell me what benefit does Sony Game Division get from having a 1.2% stake inside Epic Games? I really want to know your perspective and this will encapsulate the fanboy mentality that is permeating the Twitter universe right now, because I want to know what you think is going to happen with what they invested, and I want to shoot it down. Put it in the chat.
I mean, the real facts about it is that, like I said, the relationship, it creates that relationship where you guys are already in bed together, right? You may not be fully in bed together.
He said, trust me, Sony making moves. Well, Epic already made a demo to impress Sony.
Sony making moves to put their games on the Epic Games.
He said, there it is. He said, there it is, kid. He got you.
He said they making moves and didn't say anything. Man, shut up, man.
He capping me, fanboy. Oh wait, hold on. There's other Danny Ruiz said, "Stop it, King." Shaking my head. They know the intricacies of the deal.
Please, yo, Danny, stop trying to be Chris. Let Chris be Chris.
Chris be Chris.
Let Chris be Chris. You be Danny and let Chris be Chris.
He said Epic was trying to get Sony's attention. That's what he said.
Epic was trying to. No. Wait a second. You said Epic was trying to get the little man's. Wait a second. That's like a fly swinging past my window while I'm driving 100 miles an hour. Do you really think that Epic was trying to get? You think Sony's big dog? I'm glad that y'all saw this. I'm glad that y'all see it. He thinks that Epic needs to get Sony. Yo,
look, man, we're gonna have some fun with this. Let me jump back and get my balls off before we move on, man. What's the late great Prodigy song? There's a war going on outside. Nowhere to say from. You can run, but you can't hide forever. Listen, man, you need allies, man. Survival of the fittest, kids. They need allies. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not mad, man. Look, do your investment. You know what I'm saying? A relationship. You know, as far as the the engine, whatever. Obviously, so I know it's only 1.4. People gonna go on that, but I think this is where I look at it. I look at it like And shout out to hip hop because hip hop came for me on Twitter, y'all. They talked about this. So I thought it was interesting. You know what I'm saying? That we saw the Spider-Man Miles Morales box for PlayStation 5. And they got the white cover. I do not like the white cover. Let's get that. I'm not feeling the white. But you know what I'm saying? Like what I do remember is, at the top, I'm used to only on PlayStation. So I went, dug in the crates. I said, let me look at the Spider-Man box, the original joint, PS4, put it up, put an image, and put the other image of the PS5 Miles Morales without it. And I just put this face. Or I think I put eyeballs, like, wow, only on PlayStation, where, kind of like alluding, like, where's that at? So the Sony fan base is coming for the kids, son. It's coming. Nah! Listen, man. They already said they're not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's PlayStation Studios. I said, yeah, I get that. That's true. They said that the little box now, PlayStation Studios. But here's the thing. Little European Vice President Saul has said, yes, we will show this logo also on other platforms that we intend this to be at. So when he said other platforms, I go, oh, you basically telling us what's about to happen. So again, this is how...
Y'all might get the ultimate no-go. Is Horizon Zero Dawn on a series?
Because he specifically was like, yo, right now they didn't get a chance to put the new logo on Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima at the time. But it's like moving forward, when you see this PlayStation Studios logo, that this insinuates the type of quality, and it will be on other platforms also. So when I hear that, the writing on the wall as far as games going on a PC to me. So I just tell people, look, we got to start bracing ourselves now as far as this exclusive talk. There's a lot of talk about exclusive this and exclusive that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all doing it too. You know what I'm saying? People want to make money. That's just like at the end of the day. So when I look at this move, this is also what I think.
We're talking about the good stuff.
Like should I say? What I think is this. Let's be real. It's smart business sense, right? We know Steam is the number one thing out there, but it's smart business sense to say, "Look, let's get a relationship. We already got a relationship with Epic on this this engine." You know what I'm saying?
I think what it is Epic was probably willing to promote their stuff on Fortnite and stuff like that. They're the underdog, and I think PlayStation like low key feels like they can low key manipulate them because their brand is so quality that they feel like they can get a lot.
Let me get at Danny
Epic.
Rose right quick. Get at me. See, that's goalpost moving, my brother. I can't. That's cap, Danny. You said get at me when it's there. Y'all said the things that gets me mad about Sony fan base, and I love y'all.
Let me get this 1 mil, dude. Look, Mel, I'm
get my balls off.
Hold up, Mel was being disrespectful. Just give me 5 seconds.
Let me get Danny. I'm in the middle of talking to Danny. Then you can get him. All I'm saying is the thing that y'all gotta realize is to be honest in reference to. At first, people were saying it would never happen, right? Then it went from it's never happening to okay, well that's a 3-year-old game with Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Now we don't see only on PlayStation. Now, talk to me when it's day and date. You can't keep moving the goalposts. You see what I'm saying? Let's just be real. It's happening. So stop capping and just accept it. That's why it's no big deal. But what it is people box themselves into these pockets like, yo, we ain't never going to do what they do. Dogs, it's about money. That's what this is. So let's just get out the feelings. Now you can get your man. Go get your man, whoever you try to get.
It's Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming out November 17th.
Look, 2 days before Cyberpunk.
I accidentally accepted that. Look, I get it. You guys joke around in there, but don't call people corporate slaves and stuff.
When you say it in color, then I can see you. Because when you're doing it in the bushes, I don't see you in the bushes. The only person I'm going to look in the bushes for most of the time is definitely going to be Christopher Hart. You know why? Because Christopher Hart...
No, that's who he was attacking, was Christopher Hart.
Well, listen, Christopher Hart comes in here week after week.
Right.
Week after week. Maybe sometimes the only voice, right? Yeah. And he takes it and he gives it and he's highly respectful until people get disrespectful with him. Right. Just don't be disrespectful with him. Yeah. And I cap for Christopher Hart more than his so-called generals. You need the flip side, buddy.
So no, that's it. I mean, all that corporate slave stuff don't matter. I don't care about that. At the end of the day, like I said, we just got to be honest.
I'll show you a real slick.
we gotta get our feelings. This is the way things are going. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. It ain't no big deal. Like it's no deal. So that's how I look at it.
Well, I still see people on Twitter saying that it's just Horizon.
Listen,
and you know what's funny is like
good authority that something's happening.
Oh, everything coming.
Yeah, I got it from great authority that something's happening.
And what's funny is remember back in the day when Hogue was on here, we were talking about Death Stranding. I said, look, they let the Aquatic Dreams IPs come over. They have to do that. Yeah, and then they're like,
Detroit Became Human went over there.
And they're like, I don't know about that. I was like, they own the Death Stranding IP. They didn't have to do that.
Exactly. It's about making money. So the last point with this is just that I think this opens up a relationship potentially with Epic Store as well, right? For getting those games, even if they don't come day and date, right? To getting those games over there at some point, because again, that's a whole marketplace, that's a whole base. We've just seen when Horizon Zero Dawn was over there on Steam and started to move, right? It was up there, you know what I'm saying? With Sea of Thieves, like people, they're in the business of making money. They may not do it day and date initially, but this is what it is, right? So that's all I wanted to say. And then I didn't get your bars off, and then we good. You finished? Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm finished. But let me go ahead and state, because I see people in the chat complaining. Look, like it is okay to joke around with each other, but if I feel like it's disrespectful, I will shut it down.
Shut it.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
He heard that from somebody that was an authority over him. Shut it down. Get your ass out of the aisle.
How you know? How you know?
Schwarzenegger.
How you know?
Down.
Oh, they just announced Far Cry 6.
Oh, nice. That's what's up. Yeah, we put it was on LordsGaming.net. Shout out to Hector Ramirez again, putting it out there. I got my man from Breaking Bad, Gus, as the judge.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, salute. But look, we'll move on. I saw if you want to get your balls off.
Yeah. I mean, look, that relationship is only going to grow. You have to understand also that Sony is still, they're going to grow these relationships, right? But at the same time, they're never going to directly. Two things, right? Sony is not a direct competitor. If you think about how often Tim Sweeney attacked Microsoft and UWP and Microsoft Store, it's because they were going to be a direct competitor to the EpicGames Store, which we didn't know about at that time, right? At the time, Sony doesn't have those aspirations. Those are the guys you're going to get in bed with, right? Because you can supplement them without.
Now, do you feel like this relationship they're building will eventually make? Because like right now, Horizon's coming on Steam. Do you think that this type of relationship they're having will eventually make it to where their games are exclusively on Epic Games Store?
I don't know how that
works. I don't think so though, because
Steam
is too big to ignore, man.
I mean, they could be
and you know what kind of kills me? I was thinking this morning, like they isn't Steam doing some type of rule where you can, if your game's not on their platform, you have 30 days or you're just not going on that platform at all. Like I feel like that's low key, like that's messed up, and like I don't feel like no one even bringing that up, but you know that's besides the point. Like, do you feel like that rule will prevent them, or do you think that they'll get such a good relationship because they're having, because they're buying stock, they're talking with each other, they're helping them with the Unreal Engine? I low key think it will start to go. Don't be surprised if after a couple titles it's all on Epic. Like I'm really thinking that.
I see there's some exclusivity window.
Yeah, actually a window. That's
you can't have a window anymore because Steam shut that down.
Yeah.
You have 30 days to get your stuff on their platform, or they ain't let you in the club.
They ain't let you in the club?
Yeah.
Oh no, man! Look, you can't piss off Steam. Steam is out here moving. They got
and that's another thing. You can't really Steam is, no matter who you are, it's tough. These guys have spent more than a decade. Building.
I get that, but at the same time, there's you put State of Decay on not on Steam. People will be upset, but it's State of Decay. It's a good game. It's not great, but you put God of War only on Epic Store. I mean, people gonna put their tail right between their legs and walk straight in that club.
I will give you this, Addict. We know Epic is known to back the truck up for an exclusive and piss people off. So. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, again, we got to see how this
6
relationship
months you'll start seeing stuff on their exclusive.
If any deals, right? Because let's be honest, Sony doesn't have a place in the PC market, right? So in order to make that foothold, Epic is gaining ground. Get in bed with them now.
Yeah.
put your stuff, and I say day and date. I really don't care, because it doesn't affect me at all, and it should never affect any gamer.
Don't say that, King. They get mad.
Well, then let them blow up. Because
get mad at me with this.
You because you should never be pocket watching individuals to that nature that you're worrying about where they're purchasing a game. I'm gonna always shame you guys. I'm gonna keep shaming you guys because only 4 million dudes is valid. The rest of you dudes are
We're going with this 4 million vote again.
And I honestly feel, and I hope Dance Moves Ryan, you don't like the name, fix it. I hope you're watching because if you would have put Last of Us 2 day and date on PC the same way you put it on the PlayStation, that 4 million would have been something like 50 million, something of a weird, unheard of number. And you have to stop locking yourself behind these old archaic views and thoughts because it's not beneficial for your longevity. You're in the business to make money and not coddle these babies. Let these babies cry. They're gonna still be spending their money while they cry.
Yo, let me interrupt you for 1 second, King. Christopher Hart. I don't usually read non-super chat, but we're gonna read this. What? Christopher Hart. I do not care what people purchase a game or where people purchase a game. That's what he said. I just know the best experience for the PlayStation games is on the PlayStation console. I'm willing to bet you. I'm willing to bet you $20 that if I went back in your history, I will find some form of fashion says I don't need an Xbox. I have a PC. I'm willing to bet you I can find this, Christopher. I'm not gonna look. But I'm willing to bet you that's out there somewhere. That's
categorically incorrect. Like when Horizon Zero Dawn releases on the PC,
it's gonna be the better version. It's just.
Look at Christopher. How you gonna act like he never said something like that? I'm willing to bet you. If I went through these top chats, don't make me Christopher Hart. Just admit it. You're being a fraud right now, Christopher Hart. Let's get some fraud alerts in that chat for our old boy, Christopher Hart.
Look, man, at the end of the day, he can choose to play where he wants to play. I really don't care about that. But look, like I said, we're definitely seeing them expanding into PC and hopefully, like I said, we'll see what happens with the Epic Store. Very interesting. Let's get the last topic. We got to move.
Let's get these super chats real quick.
Get the super chat, sir.
Mariano Bomba with the $5 super chat. Can't wait to play all these Sony first party 60 frames per second on PC. Good job, Sony. Hashtag who did
Why
that?
Why is there mad fraud alerts in the chat?
Wow. You gotta get that fraud alert in there for. You keep putting them in there, man. Keep putting them in there. I want to see that red. I want to see that red.
He's just passionate. Continue.
Then we have Emmanuel with the $2 super chat. They busy hating on Xbox while Sony is busy copying.
Y'all savage.
Hey man, whatever makes you that. I'm not even mad at the copy no more. Like you gotta make money. You have to make money, and it just the wall garden stuff. Listen, when we were younger, we loved it too. Like, oh my God, you have this game. Oh, but we don't have that game. I get it. It becomes a dumb argument when you're a 40-year-old man arguing about this. Like, no, like I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, just buy everything. You have everything.
You're not trying to shell out them pockets is weak. Your pockets need to do push-ups.
I'm savage. Anyway, let's get the last J going and get up out of here. Lord Addict, man. Xbox and WB sitting in the tree. KISS. That's what we doing.
Hey, big head.
Hey,
all right.
What's going on, man?
Man, we first off, obviously everything we're about to spew is pure speculation. There's a good chance that this never happens. But there's always a chance that it does. I would say the chance is like 10%. But so let's get on to it. Warner Brothers announced a couple weeks ago that they were in the option to sell. AT&T's clearly so much in debt. They want to appeal, like the last minute appealing some of their investors. So what I want to bring to the round table is at the time Microsoft wasn't interested. It happened weeks ago. I think we even talked about it. Right. So, but now it looks like Microsoft is actually interested, and they're in open negotiations along with Activision, 2K, and EA. Keep in mind that Warner Brothers Games, WBGames, they own stuff like they own the Mortal Kombat franchise. They own the studio that makes Mortal Kombat. They own the IP, but not the license to stuff like Shadow of Mordor and the Batman stuff. They don't own the content that's in these games, but they own the IPs. they would have to renegotiate the license if they did purchase these studios to get the access to make more Batman games and I don't think Shadow of Mordor or anything like that. I don't think that would be in that context. But what I want to bring is like, is this something that Microsoft needs?
Yes.
Do you think this is something? Because I personally, feel like this is the perfect fit.
Yep.
Obviously, I don't know because it's a lot of money. $4 billion is a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. Especially for would I blame them for not paying $4 billion that doesn't include licensing?
It's 224 billion. So it's anywhere from that number 224 billion.
So I personally feel like there's a lot of scenarios. First off, they need another studio that makes those third-party person games that Cognito so loves.
Yeah.
Rocksteady's
perfect. What you need to do is plug your video up, honestly, because if anybody doesn't understand his views on this, he has a video up right now that's elaborating on these exact views. So you're gonna get a brief synopsis of it, but he has a full video up on the Addict channel. Please definitely check out that video because I watched it and he made me think completely different with a couple of topics.
And it's like, when it comes to they need someone to make Killer Instinct. I honestly think the reason they don't make it is because they don't have a full-time studio that just makes head-to-head fighters. If they bought NetherRealm, I think the first thing Microsoft would do was approve a budget to make a Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat.
That'd be crazy.
And I think that would show people like, yo, we own this stuff now.
That's the thing. Like, if they buy them, I think the one IP that does come over is Mortal Kombat, right? That's the one that I think you get with the studio.
I don't think anything becomes exclusive.
No, I completely agree. I think if they get them, you say Batman's coming to every platform. You say whatever WB Montreal is making is coming to every platform.
That if that happened, I think Batman would go to multiple platforms. I don't think Mortal Kombat would, though. I think that studio would be making Killer Instincts and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
I don't see Killer Instinct going over without Mortal Kombat going over.
Right. I hear what you're saying and definitely understand exactly what Sovereign was going to allude to, that everything else being Game Pass, but you guys got to pay.
Oh, no. Right. I make it more appealing on the Xbox platform with Game Pass, right?
See, to me, if I had it the way I would appreciate it to go, obviously, I'm just, one person. I don't have no marketing background, no business background, but I feel like they have a lot of little studios that make Lego stuff. Let that go third party because that stuff they quote unquote, I don't agree with the term, but Game Pass filler, it might appeal to some people. It's not going to appeal to everyone, but if you have all those studios making all those, sooner or later you're going to appeal to everybody.
Well, my view on it is this: it's 15 studios, right? So it was kind of weird because somebody had DM'd me a minute ago about, Microsoft acquiring like a boatload of studios. And I was like, I know about 2. I don't know what the hell you talking about. But again, and then I get weird DMs like told you so. But in seeing this now, I understand how it would be bracketed off. And it will be in tiers. You have let's say the lower half. And I'm not disrespecting any developer because I don't make games. I'm not
we can only
even remotely, right? What I'm going to say is, like, let's say the popular developers, right? Let's say you take the lower end, you have those it's 15. We're going to break them up in sets of 5. They will have a turnaround on 1 to 2 year games, right? So they make games to keep generating content inside Game Pass, right? So those games could be episodic, could be whatever. Those games inside Game Pass. Then, all of them will go to Game Pass. But then you have the next tier game studios, which will be anywhere from 2 to 3 years or 2 to 4 years games. Those games will be the mid AA games, and those games will make it to Game Pass. And then you will have the last set of developers, which will be anywhere from 4 to 6 years in development type of games, or AAA Sony type titles, or high caliber Microsoft type titles that take those 5 years, those 4 to 5 years to develop, and don't doesn't have to have that pressure on them, so they're able to cultivate and do what they do, and the other ones in the middle is able to do what they do in their time frame, and the last teams is able to do what they do in their time frame, with also keeping in line with the 9 studios that you do have. So there's constant levels of creation being done inside Game Pass, and a level of diversity from every studio contributing will take Game Pass to a whole different Netflix type of level. That's my opinion of it, and I think that's the benefit. But the biggest question is, does Satya and Phil, because the one can't move without the other. They have to move together, right? Can they convince the bigger company, Microsoft, that they can take the Xbox brand and put it on equal footing in the Microsoft ecosystem as far as peer-to-peer? Can they convince them that this $2 to 4 billion acquisition of these studios, the WB, would put them in a position, because they're a software company, that they can actually look Microsoft, the parent company, eye to eye in generating revenue through Game Pass, xCloud, and Microsoft services, Xbox services? Can that stand? And if they can convince them that, then I think that purchase and that acquisition happens. Without that convincing, I do not think that acquisition happens.
I think the only way, Microsoft usually don't spend billions unless they can make more revenue than just gaming.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat, I think, is one of the things that they can make with just gaming, because obviously there's movies, TV shows, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know if that's enough to validate if they have to spend $4 billion. To invest into the ecosystem with Game Pass, maybe they're willing to take that kind of risk, because that's a lot of studios. If they bought Warner Brothers, I don't think Microsoft has to buy anything else when it comes to studios.
Yeah, I think they're done.
I think they'll get to, because to me, I personally would like them to, if they all were multi-plat, that would be a little bit more disappointing. But we can't act like, if they're able to get these licenses to go Batman's being day one Game Pass wouldn't be relevant, because it would. Not to mention the people that make Shadow of Mordor, they're a talented studio, and they got the Nemesis engine.
So I'm so sorry. I'm having a beef in the chat.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm like completely not listening. Me and LaMarcus is going at it. I just want his knees. He's saying
get his knees in private text.
All right, but can I do the bet? I just want the boxing knees chat, because he's saying that Horizon 2 West would never go on PC during the life cycle of the PlayStation 5, and I want to know if he gonna put his knees to that.
Who's saying this?
LaMarcus, he coming for me. I got to get him.
Nah, Marcus, don't make that bet.
Can we get his knees? Can we put this official on, what is this, IOP 166? Can we do this, Lamar? Because you talking strong. I just want knees.
You don't want to granular here.
You gotta be the first one
coming out.
He said Horizon ain't coming until PS6 or PC.
Let me talk.
Oh my God.
Talk to you for a couple seconds, Lamar. You could be the first person to get Cognito's knees. That's not.
I'll put my knees on to the fans.
How would you feel, Lamar, to be the first person to get his
bet
knees?
Horizon Zero 2 won't, but no, he said it. Horizon Zero 2 won't be on PC till PS6. We got it.
Lamar, you just officially gave him your knee. So
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We remember the document 166, and if I lose, I put my knees on camera. If you lose, you gonna have to figure out I gotta figure out how I need to. We gonna ship your knees.
You gotta super chat them knees.
Yeah, you gotta super chat. You gotta super chat your knees. When you lost.
Look at my screen.
Mario getting closer. No. Salute to my man LaMarcus for putting that bet up.
You're doing that. I have to do this. I'm gonna get off your screen.
All right, let's get the super chat. Let's get the super chat, y'all.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we got Restored Hades with this $2 super chat. Ubisoft show was good. Far Cry 6. Book of X.
Yes.
Then we have the Eagle with the $5 super chat. Gotta disagree with you on the last one, Cog. Delusional insinuations does not exactly equal passion.
He's talking about Christopher Hart.
JD Gamer. If the negotiations include a 10-year exclusive license period, Phil Dominus Maximus, soon to be Aurelius, with WB gets a crossover fighting game exclusive. Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat, high quality devs and more.
No doubt, no doubt. Then we get the medic?
Super chat from Restored Hades. Seems like so many people won't lock down that path that they would make it all exclusive. At the end of the day, Xbox needs to compete against Spider-Man. They would be buying. I completely.
They would be playing by
PlayStation rules. Okay,
not necessarily, because I don't think they would keep that to themselves.
I think to me personally, I do feel like if they bought WB and they were able to maintain the, even if they couldn't maintain the Batman license, these people are excellent at making these type of games. Just go to Marvel and at least one of them people. I do think it would be exclusive. I do. I think that particular game would be exclusive because Microsoft is being very petty right now, and they would do it just to be petty for Spider-Man.
What else we got? Super chat.
We got a $5 super chat from Raw Mayhem. I think, yeah, okay. Look, we'll keep Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct. And Sony can keep Street Fighter and take Tekken back.
No,
nah, I don't give them Tekken.
No. I fought very hard to get Tekken to stay on Xbox. That and Soul Calibur. Shout out to Soul Calibur being in Game Pass right now. Game Pass. That's definitely.
No doubt. Did we get the medic? $5
The medic $5 super chat. If Microsoft picks up the WB Studios, big if the IP licenses aren't necessary. Rocksteady, Monolith, WB Montreal have a chance to build new IP, which is true. Finally, they won't be held down by having to make these IP, but these IPs sell.
Wow.
We got a $5 super chat from Victor Alistine.
No, you missed.
I missed one?
Yeah. Mariano Pompa with the $2 super chat. Take them knees, Kyle.
I'm trying. Yeah, we got it. We got a bet. Me and LaMarcus, we in the mix, son. So that's what's up.
You got jumped big time, Addict. Then we have Squirrely Dan with the $2 super chat. Can't give knees when you a snake, my guy.
Wow. Who said that? Wow. Come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's early.
Wow. From Deep Edit. Microsoft would need a Warner Brothers studio size purchase of Japanese developers that could be done. Okay. I agree with you. They definitely need a Japanese developer. And when we say they might be buying these, it's a huge if.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money. But we got a $5 super chat from Victor Alistine. This is a rare opportunity that a company like Tencent could take if Xbox decides not to. Rocksteady is better than all the Xbox studios.
Shout out to Jez Corden because he said it. He was like, dude, just to block them from buying everything, you have to consider.
That is a good point.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
If Tencent buys them, and then and it's not even just Tencent. Amazon buys them because Amazon needs that stuff too.
That'd be awesome because y'all didn't see it. That'd be awesome because y'all didn't see everybody out here. They sideshow doctors, the stock market and analysis, and that'd be so epic to see just people just go quiet on Twitter.
Super chat. Get the super chat. We got Joe. You got the medic. We got
you had Squirrely Dan.
We got Squirrely Dan. Cog is going to collect that spine.
Pause, man.
Wow. Yeah, LaMarcus and me. Go ahead.
JD Gamer with the $2 super chat. I need Microsoft to get WB, a Japanese dev, and Asobo. Yes, I'm with that.
Yeah, that Asobo might happen.
What's up?
And then we have Jonathan B with the $5 super chat. Use this $5 for the shipping label for LaMarcus.
Yes, so put the boxes in the chat. I'm coming. He said it's not happening through the PlayStation 5. Like, don't let that Horizon West news come on my feed.
You have the precedent already.
You got the precedent. This is an example, of non-acceptance. This is why my new thing is I'm not arguing with you on Twitter. Put your knees up in here, and we gonna bet what's time it is. Cause y'all keep acting like this. This is the new reality. I can't wait. And this is not about me wanting all this to happen. This is just where it's going. Just open your eyes.
When the PlayStation 5 come out, Miles is dating.
Like, fam, are we really this? Okay, but look, I'll put my knees up. I lose. I'll put it out there. You know what I mean? Halo will be on PlayStation. Yo, LaMarcus was going down with the shit, bro. He going in. I respect
Halo's
it.
On PlayStation. You already know where God of War could be played best at.
Anyway. Look, I'll give my balls off.
Break your heart.
I'll give my balls off real quick, man. Look, when this news came across, I was like, wow, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying, with the WBG. But I'm gonna be real, King. Like, how many times we done heard these super mega? Like we know Microsoft got the bread to do all this stuff. But to me, it's just the reality of it happening, and I just want to be that guy.
Kyle,
Like,
I want you to think about it this way, right? Because this is the same conversation that I was hearing when it was Disney trying to acquire Fox,
right?
And it was a lot of hurdles and stuff that dudes had to do,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
And at one time it went through, then it didn't go through. It was left, it was right, but do it by a process of elimination. Rockstar, no, right? Because Rockstar. EA isn't
Activision.
EA would want. I wouldn't be more concerned with Activision than EA, right? EA would want, but Activision can acquire, right? But it's about, and I always say it's always about those two individuals. If they can convince the parent company, because remember, I don't know how big Satya's bag is, right? But I think that those type of things, those moves, requires convincing higher ups. Do I believe that Phil wants it? Yeah. Do I believe that he can have Satya understand the ramifications on what will happen if they acquire? Yes. Is a 3-tier? Can they convince the uppers? Right. And this deal is going to be as mega as Fox and Disney.
Oh, it would be. It would be. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying the reason why I don't feel it will is I feel WB trying to drive the price up. So my thing is they like, yo, Microsoft interested in this too. So what you gonna do? Like, to me, that all this
they use them like the Knicks?
Yeah, I feel like this leak, like, you know how like every time LeBron's a free agent and then the Knicks be like, yo, the Knicks were interested. And I'm just like, fam, you used to get the price up. You know what I'm saying?
I want to leave.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, the part about it that I like is that Phil is shooting his shot. And you like that aggressiveness under the leadership, like when it's not Don Matrick. You know what I'm saying? I respect them going for it, but I still think WB just trying to drive the price up, man.
Yeah, and keep in mind that you know there's a slim chance that Microsoft doesn't buy this, but if they buy this,
if they do, it's gonna be crazy.
You know what Sony dudes would do? Like right now,
it don't matter what Sony dude's gonna do because I'm gonna be so extra. There's two scenarios in life.
It's never happening. Microsoft is never gonna do that.
There's two.
If it happens, then they're gonna be like, it doesn't matter. They ain't gonna make anything.
There's two scenarios in life where I'm extra, like extra, like so extra. You guys can't contain me on Twitter that day. No, one of them is if Microsoft absolutely blows it out of the park on the July the 23rd. And the second one is if they buy Warner Brothers. Now, if they happen on the same day.
Listen, I love this pie in the sky talk.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I've been around, bro. Like, I've been around when, Microsoft's going to buy EA. Microsoft's going to buy Steam.
You know what's not us, though? I think that was us, though. I don't really think it was an open bid up for EA.
Well, you remember them rumors.
It was just like blatant rumors, like not actual.
True. And shout out to
they sent them a letter of intent. Like,
absolutely. That part is different. I give y'all the letter of intent. Okay, yes, that's real. I respect the move. I just gotta see it, man. Like, there's a lot of dudes trying to get this sale off. So, we'll see. I hope. Listen, you think I'll be happy? I'll be happy to be wrong. I've been on that. Man,
could you imagine how disgusting it will smell if EA gets a hold of them?
Yeah.
Like, really, what will happen? Y'all might as well just pack it up. Yeah. Like, you might as well just pack it up. Forget about how that quality of that Batman gonna be. Forget about who you used to know.
Right.
No.
Let me read this super chat. This is perfect. I'm jumping one, but I'll go back to the other one. Restored Hades with the $2 super chat. Let's be honest, Microsoft is the lesser evil. Yes.
Oh yeah, out of the three. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all scared to death if we go to Activision. We scared to death with EA.
What Activision and Bungie did.
Yeah, we already see. But look, that's what I got. Everybody got anything else we get up out of here?
We got a couple super chats.
So get the super chat, sir.
JD Game with the $5 super chat. Think about all the times Microsoft didn't buy a team that they worked with. BioWare, SplashDamage, CloudGene, Iron Galaxy. They need to get WB to stop others. Yep, especially.
Well, they lost Iron Galaxy to to Amazon. Yeah. And those are the people that were working on the Killer Instinct. So you see how a stagnated Killer Instinct got the moment that they got acquired by another company. they can't allow that to continue. Like they can't let IPs they just bring back just die like that.
I just personally feel like it would be different if I didn't think that. I honestly think this is literally the perfect thing. Like Microsoft, this is one of those opportunities, especially if they can get like the Batman licensing.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be extremely. And I personally, I feel like Batman's ran its course. I would prefer them to let that licensing go and like get like Black Panther or something, because I feel like we need a different hero than the one that's been used for like 15, 20 years. But Batman's extremely popular, so even if they got it, that would still be
a new Batman movie coming out, bro.
Nah, you need Batman. Like it was one of those things.
Give me that Batman, boy.
But that's all I have.
Yeah.
We got Perfect Shogun with the $2 super chat. Drop the bag, Satya.
Well, what is Cog doing? Cog is in there fighting with somebody.
Even again.
We can't hear you.
We
can't hear anything that you're saying.
Oh, my bad. No. Can you hear me now?
Who are you cursing out?
Now, LaMarcus, he got his knees out this. I just wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? He said God of War ain't happening. That's another one. I want the 2 for the price of one.
You just out here getting the 2 for.
Yeah, I want both his knees.
You know what's funny?
2 knee special with a biscuit.
Yeah,
Cogni's supposed to take the higher ground. He's
he talking spicy in here. You know I can't have the spicy talk. He coming at the kid.
I don't say it. Put it in the super chat.
You're not supposed to participate in the smoke. You're supposed to maintain us.
You're right. I'm not being professional, but yo, if you got them knees, you don't think that God of War.
Like, this is literally what Cognito do.
Put that
He's
super
not
chat.
listening to the podcast and he's doing this.
Put your super chat money up if you don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, and then we can honestly know that you're a man of your convictions, like your boy over here with the tattoo on his chest.
Exactly. I'm a man of my convictions. I don't do the spicy talk. I want knees. I want bets. I want put your knife on the line. I want to make an example. Anyway, I'm done with my fools. Let's get it. We got the super chats. We caught up?
Yeah, we're done.
All right, let's get up out of here, man. All right. New ILP poll with Phil Spencer's latest statements regarding Series X being held back by older Xbox platforms as a meme created by people who are too caught up in device competition. Do you agree that games should not be locked into having to buy a new device in order to experience it? The choices are A, no, Phil is tripping. Game design will always be held back by the lowest common denominator. B, yes, the majority of games scale for PC already and still have the highest graphical fidelity. Or C, I don't care, both Series X and PlayStation 5 are damage controlling their limitations to PC Master Race. Those are the choices. Please rock the vote when it goes up on Twitter. Salute to Lord Giuseppe Navarria, one of the best coders in the game. SplashDamage's own, came through, showed love. A lot of retro talk, man. He was really phenomenal. Salute to him. We'll definitely try to get him back as things get closer, hopefully with SplashDamage's next project or when GearsTactics comes out on Series X. So salute to him and all that. But yeah, man, we got the super chats and then you do your intros. You want to get those real quick, Sav? Before we got
Mariano Pumpa with the $2 super chat. I'm all for aggressive cog. And then we have Black Ronin. With this $5 super chat. Black Panther as a third-person action adventure game would be life-giving. Yeah, that would be hot. I'm not gonna lie. And we got Stevie Smith with the $5 super chat. If LaMarcus doesn't have these, how is he going to get more of what he's smoking? But I guess Amazon, I guess.
That's savage, man. Leave the homie alone. I just want his knees, though. Bring them to me. Anyway, Lord Addict, where can the people find you, man? What you got going on, sir?
You can find me eating these fries.
No pizza?
No.
Oh, all right. Okay, step up.
Look, man. It's 4:00. It's dinner time for me.
All right. Yeah.
That's a fact. No doubt. You already know. Lord Sovereign, what's going on? Very spicy epic talk, man. Where can people find you? What you got going on?
Chilling, man. Just chilling this week. I got to go to work a little bit, but I'm actually Friday, man. I've heard a lot of good things about Tsushima that had me worried. So
side quests like Witcher.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, go
Ninja's cherry blossom time, baby.
I'm a little more excited than I had been, so I'm excited for that on Friday. Paper Mario as well on Friday. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was teasing them in chat. I was like, get that Paper Mario.
Oh, and by the way, next week I'm going to be dropping a few videos on Halo and Fable. So definitely, if you ain't subscribed to me on Gaming Addict, you might want to go over there and do that.
No doubt, no doubt. You already know. Lord King, fresh off that IOP crest, the IOP for life.
Let's put them crests in the chat for King.
Put the
man.
crest in the chat for
King
King. Man of his
for us
conviction.
all.
Exactly.
I was editing a video while I was on the show today because that video has to go up. I was trying to get that out for you guys yesterday, but only Realm members. Like if y'all heard what I put up, y'all understand. It sounds a little bit like this, and we can't get monetized for this because this is mine. So so it sounds like hold on, let me get that for you because it's fantastic. I'm so proud of myself with how I made it sound because it's mad cheeky. It's cheeky. Listen, guys.
We listening.
Oh, where is that?
Turn the beat up. Turn the beat around.
You know what he sounds like? He sounds like that that Better Call Saul from Breaking Bad.
Yes.
You thought you was gonna see this? Nah. You gotta be a member of the realm to see this. If you're not a Patreon or a member of the realm, it won't happen for you.
And I felt so happy and gleeful when I said, like, you won't see it unless you're a member of the realm. And all you members that are in the realm, I do salute you guys. So all you guys gave me strength when I was laying there on the table and getting tattooed for 7
hours.
You know, Attic was riding with me the whole time. He's like, damn, you still there? And I'm like, yes. I'm and I'm taking pictures. I'm doing whatever. It was a real isolated situation because I wasn't able to bring anyone with me. So you know,
salute for you for still able to get footage in there. Dolo.
Yeah, he listen. Shout out to Pony Montana. His joint is his Twitter is his Instagram is PONY TAT. 2, the number 2.
Okay.
Go follow him on Instagram.
Pony Tattoo.
Yeah, to a Pony Tattoo. That's funny.
That's I was gonna say the fanboy reference with the vowels was like that. I believe.
He watches the show. And that's insane because I sent him the link. He looked at the show and he's a fan of the show and he says, salute to you guys. So we'll be working in the future with
Yo, Geeky Nerd said my guy King locking exclusives behind a paywall.
Listen, exactly that. You will not see the nipple unless you pay for that. So y'all talk about OnlyFans. Well, hey,
Diago said where the video came. He just did the tattoo Saturday. He was in there for 7-8 hours. My man had to get his rest on. He gonna put up he doing the editing of the video. So
keep in mind he did this yesterday.
Just did it. 8 hours, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So give him that. Now you figure worst case scenario tomorrow maybe it'll be ready. Or?
Yeah, well it'll definitely be up tomorrow. I have a box coming in from Sideshow tomorrow, so I'll be doing that video Wednesday. I have 2 shows to do, so Monday we'll be doing The Last of Us super deep dive, very intricate stuff, and on Tuesday we'll be doing an unboxing for the winner of the $800. They got the statue from Dolph Castle X. I told you guys, listen, y'all can go over there. They're giving away a lot of stuff once a month, and one of the winners got $800 in Spec Fiction money, and they already got they statue.
Yeah.
So I just got one request, King.
Yes.
One request. It's a very important request. Gotta get rid of that Mario next week, man.
No,
it's mad creepy, son.
Yo.
Next week it's gonna be right.
I don't like how every week it get closer.
Buy that hat next week.
What's nuts is I didn't move him.
Don't see that we got in the show.
I didn't touch him. He was over there behind the box, and then I looked and I was like, "Oh, Attic, he's coming for you." So,
I'm so sorry. Until that Mario is removed, this is all you're gonna see.
Oh my god, yo, y'all stupid. Anyway, man, so that's it for the cake. So hopefully it'll be up soon, man. Yo, salute again everybody that came through the chat and everybody again. Salute LaMarcus. You know it's all fun and games, brother. We just having fun, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, tune into next week as we get closer. We're gonna have some more fun stuff going on. Anybody got anything else to say before we get out of here?
I was just giving a little preview of that.
Oh, exclusive OnlyFans nipple.
Shoulder blade, a collarbone. You get a little collarbone.
You got collarbone action. Get the rest. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I said, thanks for stopping with us because we had Ubisoft going on at the same time. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. And on that note, we gonna listen to what?
My God, I gotta send you something.
Okay. Anyway, we out.
Yo, you are about to. I'm Lord King David of Iron Lords Podcast. And we're bringing to you an exciting new giveaway. This giveaway is like none other. We'll be giving away an Xbox Series X. That's right, you heard me right. The brand new console launching from Microsoft this year. Well, this is how you're able to be part of that giveaway. There's 2 ways to get your name thrown in the hat for the raffle. 1, become a member of the realm. That's hit that join button, hit that join button. You hit that join button down at the bottom and you can become a member. And also, another way is by becoming a Patreon member. So you can be part of the realm as well. Now, this is brought to you by Cat Daddy Fat Stacks, a member and Lord of the Realm, a very generous person that's in our community. And this community is beautiful. So remember, you can have 1 entry by hitting that join button and becoming a member of the realm. And also, you can have another entry by being a Patreon. Now, you said, King, what if I'm a member of both? Well, your name gets thrown in the hat 2 times. So please, like, follow, and subscribe, join, or become a Patreon member, or become both, and your name is in the hat to get that Xbox Series X. That's the Who Did That For You sweepstakes. This is wonderful. This is something that I'm sure that you will enjoy. Oh, man.